Drugs. This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel biting, bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
Uh-oh, that's not starting again. No, we're starting. Oh, we gotta take that off for now. Let's take that off. We here? We're here? Is it time for the motherfucking PFL live reaction with the Full-Time Family Panel? You motherfuckers ready? Are you Let's go, let's go. I don't even got it pulled up. The PFL prelims are starting right about now. They're going to be on Facebook PFL. I got to pull those up over here. So I'm going to be doing that. We're going to give the Full-Time Family a little more time to roll in, especially the members of the panel. So while I pull up the PFL live stream, while I pull up the prelims real quick, we're going to, of course, plug our brand new UFC Yankovic channel. Y'all ain't ready. I just uploaded it. Go to UFC Yankovic. Link should be in the description. Motherfucking check out the newest God's Plan UFC Yankovic song over there. We're going to run that actually real fast while I pull up these prelims and to give some more people some time in. Let's go. It's motherfucking God's Plan over here and shit.
Yeah, they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish.
Oh, I can't start this without saying it's motherfucking remastered by Stockton Slaps. You guys see that at the bottom right there? Where's the motherfucking air horn? Yo, we ain't starting this show unless we're starting it correct. This is about to be a great show, Full-Time Family. I hope y'all are ready. But I gotta get the motherfucking air horn for my motherfucking dog, Stockton Slaps. What are you talking about? Where's the buttons at? Sound buttons. Let's go. Gotta pull these joints up. You guys fucking ready? You guys see that right there? This is a special parody, MMA parody. This isn't just any MMA parody. This is the motherfucking Stockton Slaps remastered, professionally remastered version. So we gotta give it the proper introduction. Fucking ready? Let's go.
Yeah, they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me.
Hey. Hey.
It's Tony time, bitch, I don't care who's fucking with me. Staying away from tiramisu's a struggle for Khabib. You don't wanna fight, you wanna cuddle with me. My elbows are knives and I'ma cut you with these. I don't really give a fuck who's with me. If this fat fuck will make weights a big mystery. If you were smart, then you would probably pick me. To submit Khabib at UFC 229.
Hold on.
To submit Pettis at UFC 229. Tony time. Tony time. I knock out, sometimes I choke. I might be the lightweight GOAT. If my leg didn't get broke, would've probably beat Khabib. Then moved up and fought Woodley. Either wait for GSP. You don't wanna mess with me. Tony time. Tony time. I knock out, sometimes I choke.
Y'all fucking ready or what, Full-Time Family? Let's go. Shout out to Stockton Slaps on the remaster. You know we gotta pull up the UFC 228 fight card before we get in here. I'm gonna motherfuck around and put the Google Hangout in the chat because we haven't had any trolls fuck up the flow of things yet. Eventually I think we'll have to move that to the emails, but for right now we're just gonna throw it in the chat. Let me look for PFL 7 over here on this Facebook here, yonder. PFL 7 prelims. Where you at, though? Alright, let me get the Google Hangout. Motherfucking invites. Invite people. Copy link to share. Link copy to clipboard. Bada boom. Bada bang. Leon Dubson forward in the motherfucking building. Booger Bash 2018, Gorilla Smash 2018. We ain't fucking around. Do your boy a favor if you haven't yet. If you're finished biting your bagels, hit that thumbs up button. Here is the link. Gotta boom. Once you get in here, I will put it up on the screen. And we will start, man. We will start. I do too much talking on the channel. Shit, I already feel like we need a... Uh-oh, we got a red bar. Are we live? Are we live? We good? Yeah, we're still good. I already feel like we need a motherfucking co-host. So this is going to be y'all's time forward. Whoever else wants to hop in. Tell me your predictions. We're gonna break down the card, and it's just gonna be that simple. I'm gonna do some talking, of course, but really, it's for the panel. Our mystic predictions. You don't forget we had like 4 out of 5 people on the panel before UFC 227 actually picked Henry Cejudo. Will we pick Nico Montano? I can't wait to figure out. I know I'm not. Spoiler alert. Either way, you get the point. I need to see this PFL live stream popping up somewhere on my Facebook videos. PFL 5. No, we need PFL 7. Let me just type in professional fight league since you want to be about it. Professional. Okay, we gotta delete PFL 7 first. Professional fight league 7. All right, hopefully we get that going. I gotta say I'm rooting for T-Bomb, says Leon Dobson. Yo, that's who I think I'm giving the edge to as well, man. But I know my boy Forward's got something to say about that.
Hey, I've got a lot to say about that.
Oh,
but you already don't know.
For some reason, there's an echo. Is that my fault? Is that on my end, or are you listening to it? Let me see. That might be me. Actually, I think it's good now.
Got it muted, so.
All right, yeah, it's good now. We're good now. We're good now.
Are we good?
Yes, sir. All right, now let me
Yo, what are you saying, bro? What are you saying? You good, yeah?
Yes, sir. What's going on? How's it been? How's it hanging? Looking for PFL
it's been
right
great,
now.
man. Only a few more days until we get a new British champion in the UFC, so I'm ready, man. I'm stoked.
We definitely have a new British contender as of right now, so we'll see if he gets the job done. Woodley's training hard, man. He ain't no easy work, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, we can straight up get into it right now, man. It's down to you if you want to get deep into this shit right now.
We can. I mean, we can wait. I'm sure Infamous would like to be in the chat. He's got a strong opinion. Is there anybody else that wants to hop in? I mean, if so, if not, fucking, we can go away. I mean, we can look at the rest of the card. We can ease into the main event. I mean, it's really, if you want to get straight into it, we can.
You know, let's warm up to the main event a little bit. Let's look at the rest of the card, because even still, I mean, I know the Sabit and Yair fight right now, so obviously it's a bit disappointing, but it's still a decent card, especially the undercard as well. So
yeah, Sabit got a new opponent in Brandon Davis, and then also the main event's going to look a little different. This fight right here, Nico Price and Abdul Razak Al Hassan, I think is actually going to be on the main card portion. At least when the UFC ran a promo, they had it there, so that's what I think it will be. But yeah, there's a lot of WMMA fights on the card, but then of course you got some good fights on the main card. Sterling versus Stamen. What fight you? Oh, Rivera versus Dodson. Definitely can't wait to hear your take on that fight. That's a fight I'm looking forward to. Let's see if there's any fights to stand out on the Fight Pass prelims. Aldana, Pudilova, not really. So we'll just start off with Jimmy Rivera and John Dodson. What are your thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because obviously Rivera came off with that 16-second head kick from Marais. So yeah, he got finished real quick, and a lot of people are looking at Dodson to win that fight with his fighting style. The fact that he's a bit of a I don't say he's a boring fighter. That's definitely the wrong word to use, but he's quite patient in the sense that he can be a bit of a point fighter. Looks kind of win that decision in a sense, and obviously he still has got that power, as you saw when he knocked out TJ. So I'm leaning towards Rivera with that one, but I can see how Dodson can win this.
It's also a quick turnaround for Rivera. That head kick knockout just came last month, actually, 2 months ago. So I mean, we seen Frankie Edgar was able to win a quick turnaround after being knocked out, but that's not always the case. And John Dodson also maybe a little more knockout power than Cub Swanson. I don't know, maybe, but I'm just saying he's dangerous for a quick turnaround. Also, he does have that TKO win over TJ Dillashaw. So, you have any thoughts on Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Nico Price? That's actually going to be a good fight, under the radar a little bit. Move to the main card portion. Nico Price. I was going to say Nico Price is coming off of that first round, I believe, KO over Randy Brown. I mean, he had hammer fist from the bottom position. It was an upset there. So, Nico Price is dangerous. Out of his 12 wins, I believe he's got 11 finishes. We got Yves Edwards on the desk over here at PFL 7. What do you got? Any thoughts on Al Hassan versus Price?
Now, Al Hassan, it rings a bell. I feel like he's a fighter who I think he had a rematch against someone who.
Yeah, Sabah Hamasi.
I'm trying to remember what happened exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then in the rematch, he knocked him out clean out. So yeah, I mean,
yeah, the first fight was an early stoppage, and second one he knocked him clean out.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got a prediction per se, but I'm definitely looking forward to watching that fight. Because again, I don't like to make predictions of fights. So I'm not too sure who the winner could be, because I've seen a lot of good from both fighters. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one again.
Maybe you have a pick in this one. We got the British Darren Stewart, the dentist Darren Stewart. Got some English talent taking on Charles Bird. Kid Dynamite. It's a dangerous fight. this is a fight somebody could for sure be going to sleep. But Charles Byrd actually has some good jiu-jitsu as well. Came up on the Contender Series 2 first-round finishes in his 2 fights so far. But the dentist Darren Stewart snapped his 3 or 4 fight losing streak most recently by knocking out Eric Spicely. And Eric Spicely also had some good jiu-jitsu. So he's shown he can beat a jiu-jitsu guy. That's kind of what this really feels like. I think both of Charles Byrd's fights were submissions. But, of course, he can knock you out as well. So I would assume you're a little biased maybe going for Darren Stewart in that one. I picked him too, though, unbiased.
I mean, maybe a little bit more than...
yeah, not just a
little bit
bias.
biased on this one, so I'm not gonna a bit more than a little biased. But yeah, I got my boy winning this one. I got Darren Stewart winning this.
Yeah, no, I actually gave him the edge in this fight as well. He snapped his losing streak, but he actually coming in as a little bit of an underdog, even though he's got more UFC experience. Actually, Charles Byrd, looking at it, has one more fight, 2 more fights experience. Cam Murphy in the building. What up, full-time? Ashish Peshvar says, full-time MMA. If Darren wins, he might call out Paulo Costa for that MSG fight. I don't know. If he wins, he's going to be the champion. Shoot. I mean, that would be still fun, but wait, you mean like just go up to middleweight? He would become the champion, and then he would just go up to middleweight for a contender fight? I don't know. If he becomes the champion, he's probably not going to just want to fight Paulo Costa just for fun because he'll be the champion. Now, if he misses weight, maybe he's like, all right, fuck this. I'm going up to middleweight and he'll fight Paulo Costa. But other than that, yeah, I mean, but that is a fun fight. I mean, I would like to see Paulo Costa versus Adesanya, Paulo Costa versus Darren Till. There's a lot of those fights. Darren Till versus Adesanya. A lot of these welterweight and middleweight strikers would be some real fun fights. I think Darren Till versus Adesanya might take the cake for me, though. That'd be a great fight. That'd be fun if Darren Till moves up to middleweight.
Yeah, and they've talked about fighting each other a lot recently as well, so that's definitely something that hopefully we're going to see in the future.
Yeah, and Adesanya, I mean, he's one of the more smaller middleweights. I remember one of the times he weighed in at like 182, 183, so he has no problem making that weight cut. And Darren Till, a bigger welterweight, so they're actually probably pretty close in size. 2 up-and-coming striking prospects, both of them very talented. I would love to see Till versus Adesanya. But moving on to the main event of the Fox prelims, of course, we got Aljamain Sterling taking on Cody Stamann. Cody Stamann, a very talented wrestler, 17-1. Most recently beat Brian Caraway. I actually felt like he won it unanimous, but it was a split decision win. And actually, Brian Caraway got ghosted out of the rankings after that win, which was surprising. I still don't know what's going on with him. But Aljamain, very tough coming off of that win over Brett the Pikey Johns. It's going to be a good fight here. Aljamain, very well-rounded. Cody Stamann, more of a wrestler, but still well-rounded as well. I mean, you know, being 17-1, I think he also has some wins by KO, TKO. So I think if Cody Stamann's going to win this fight, he's really going to have to be able to out-wrestle Aljamain. But if you listen to the interview we did with Aljamain, Aljamain actually started off as a wrestler and well-rounded out his game from there. So it's not like he's some striker or just some slouch wrestling. He's got great wrestling himself, so it's not going to be that easy to just try and just out-wrestle Aljamain. So that's going to be a good fight. You got any thoughts on Sterling versus Stamann?
Yo, what's up, full time? What's up, forward?
Is that Infamous in the building?
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's going on?
What's good, bro? What's good, bro?
What's going on, brother? What's going on? Talking about Aljamain versus Cody Stamann right now. Y'all got any thoughts on that fight?
I'll go Aljo.
I got Aljo, too, giving him the edge. Stamann, tough wrestler.
Aljamain got really good ground game and really good wrestling.
Yeah, and he can strike,
Aljamain, you got to have some good knockout power to beat that guy.
And even then, shoot, Marlon Moraes, we saw he's got knockout power, and he fucking fought Aljamain to a split decision.
No, he knocked Aljamain out.
Oh, yeah, that's not who I'm thinking of. Yeah, no, he lost 2 fights to split. Yeah, no, he definitely knocked him out with that knee. A Sunsal, but he also lost a split to somebody else. I don't know who else.
Yeah, he did. Who was the other guy?
Brian Caraway. Brian Caraway, actually.
That's it.
Yeah, he lost a split to both of them, and then he got knocked out by Marlon Moraes.
The thing about the Moraes knockout is it wasn't like, don't get me wrong, you can't take much away from the knockout, but he didn't catch him with the kick he wanted to. I mean, he even said afterwards that, he kind of wanted to go for a body kick.
Yeah, he just
went in for the takedown.
It was kind of off of like Aljamain. It was kind of Aljamain's mistake because he got kind of panicked. Panicked after he hit him with a good shot. And he was like, oh shit.
Wrong time.
And tried to shoot him.
Okay, so a lot of pretty much leaning toward Aljo. Cody Stamann, he's still under the radar a little bit, though. He's got great wrestling. He's got a great record. He got that win over Caraway, actually. And when you look at it, Caraway, I mean, MMA math definitely doesn't always work like that. Caraway had the split decision win over Aljamain and a split decision loss to Cody Stamann. So actually the exact opposite result. They were both split decisions, but one of them got the win, one of them got the loss against Caraway. So I don't think MMA math, and we know it doesn't always play out like that. And even in the Caraway fight, actually, if you watched Aljamain's fights, you could it was a close fight. So you know, split decision can always go either way. So I'm and I'm pulling for Aljo, of course, too, because he's low key a member of the full-time family. So you know, but we can move to the pay-per-view.
I just hope Caraway's doing okay, man. It has not been some good years for that man.
Yo, and did you see how he's? Well, I don't know if you joined when we already said. I pointed out like he got ghosted out of the rankings. Like Stamen was ranked like 12 or something when he beat
Miesha Tate left him.
Yeah, Miesha Tate left, and then he took out the rankings.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it's even worse, you know, when your ex. It's one thing when your ex leaves, but then when she has a baby with her next dude, it's like, oh, that's even.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? It didn't even take her long either.
Quick. That's always a killer.
Honestly, I don't even like Miesha Tate like that, but that was fun.
Yeah, and then shit. On top of that, business ain't going good. I mean, let's see if he got back in the rankings yet. It might be a contract thing. But last time I checked, man, he lost to a ranked fighter, and he's all the way out of the rankings. And
I remember hearing like he doesn't have good relationship with the matchmakers because he denies fights a lot.
That could very well be a thing.
That's probably why they took him out. He's just sitting there too long, not doing nothing.
Thank you very much for hitting subscribe and joining the full-time family. What is that? Oh, it's in the way, the subscriber count. I got to bring it up. But thank you very much for hitting subscribe. Let's look at the bantamweight rankings for Brian Caraway. No. Oh, I got the sound buttons up. Where's it at? Hold on. I got it. This is it.
Ronnie Yaya found his way in the rankings, I guess.
Ronnie Yaya got that win over Luke Saunders. Put him up there. Okay. PFL prelims, of course, are live on Facebook if you're watching those. No fight on right now. They're advertising Sean O'Connor a lot. I think Jason High might have been in the main event, and he missed weight, so they took him out. So now, really the biggest name in this event, of course, aside from Habib's family. You know, there's a lot of Nurmagomedovs fighting over at PFL. Sean O'Connor, though, former UFC vet, he's fighting in the co-main event, so that's going to be going on a little bit later. But yeah, moving back to the UFC 228 fight card. What do you guys think about Yair? We'll talk about that first. Being injured. What do you think about him being injured?
I mean, is anyone buying that? Like,
I don't know. I don't think I am.
Oh my god. This guy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How do you almost leave the UFC for not fighting this guy, and then now you finally got the brains to pull out the fight with an injury? You should have done that the first time.
The first time. Yep. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it definitely could have done that the first time. Almost lost the job, signed up for the fight, but Zabit's not letting it go. He said, "Yo, you're not gonna escape this." It's okay. I'll fight someone else now. End of the year, I still want you. What do you think about Zabit's persistence to like want Yair? It's like he fucked his girl or something.
I love this, man.
Yeah, it's like he just wants Yair. It's like he's got he wants him specifically. He's persistent.
The thing is, he struggled to get a fight with anybody else that's ranked. So like, he's like, you know what? Now I've got this one guy. Let me just pursue and get this fight because Rodriguez is a pretty big name for someone ranked outside the top 5 because he obviously had the fight with Edgar. He's relatively known, especially for being a bit of a
prospect. Edgar is Zabit's teammate, right? So, if I'm not mistaken, they're teammates. Yep. So that's also not good for Yair.
He's gonna have the game plan to be.
This motherfucker that trains with Frankie.
The thing is like Yair has like a path of victory in the fight. It's not like he, you know, obviously I'd pick Zabit, but you know he has a chance to win, I would say. But like it's not like Zabit's gonna take him down early. He's gonna stand with him. Like you're gonna do what you do best, right? Like Zabit will take him down probably later, but like
I think Zabit would stand with him. Well, unless he just wants to you know, because he is teammates with Frankie. Unless he just wants to secure the win and get him the fuck out of there. But I think Zabit, especially the way that he's persistent about this fight, he would probably want to stand with Yair at this point. Like, hold on, man, I want to beat you at your own game. I don't want to, like, because he really wants this Yair fight. And I think we'll still get it at the end of the year, hopefully, because there's not really, what are you going to do, get another injury? I don't want to put that into the, like, it actually could happen, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I wonder what happens.
What pisses me off is that, like, Yair got this, like, he got that fight with BJ Penn. And, like, when he got that fight, I was like, okay, that's a gimme fight. They're trying to build this guy. But now you don't want to take an actual fight with Zabit. Like, come on, man. Don't act like the UFC didn't give you a fight to win, basically. But
yeah, the UFC was behind Yair before he fought Frankie. I don't know what happened in between then. He was seeming like he could be one of the next big things, but I mean, it's going to be hard to convince me the UFC's behind anyone once they throw Frankie at him. That's a fucking tough fight, especially for Yair for that matchup. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're still in the Yair business. Who knows? I mean, it would be crazy, though, if after all of this he comes out and wins. Like, what if he comes out here and not? Like, that would be crazy. That would be big, but, I mean, still, it's going to be interesting to see if they make it to the fight. But now Zabit's going to be taking on Brandon Davis. He's got a new opponent. I think this is kind of like Zabit food. I don't know if Brandon Davis has much of a chance, but he's definitely got a fun fighting style. He trains out of Mississippi with Jason Knight and those guys. So Jason, he's more of a striker. Jason Knight, you know, they got some good jiu-jitsu down there though. So I mean, I think it's a fight that Zabit's likely to win. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Especially if he's still looking for the Yair fight after this. Like, all right, get Zabit a win. And because the UFC seemed a little, they were able to be a little choosy with Zabit's opponent. You saw John Lineker actually offered to step up and fight Zabit, but the UFC said something about him being too small, and now so we end up here with Brandon Davis. Now Brandon Davis is coming off of a loss. He's not a world beater. I don't think Brandon Davis is a top 15 fighter by any means. But he's still a guy that kind of like Kyle Bochniak. Even if he's gonna lose the fight, he's not. He's gonna bring a fight. He's got.
He actually has a loss to Kyle Bochniak. I just looked it up.
Okay, yeah, I'll pull it up on the screen. But yeah, he's a fun fighter. I mean, I don't know if you know about Jason Knight. I'm sure a lot of you do.
Yeah,
Diaz, Mississippi Mean. So you know they definitely got some personality down there. So yeah, he's gonna be taking on. Oh, it still says yeah, you're right here. I'll just type it in. But Brandon Davis, if I'm not just going off memory, he's 2-2 in the UFC. Unranked, but either way, he's gonna bring the fight. So I'm sure people are likely picking Zabit to win that, but that's going down. What do you guys think about Esparza versus Suarez? Thoughts on that?
I think that's gonna be a close fight.
I think that's actually a bold statement. You know why? Because Carlos Esparza is like a fucking 5-1 underdog. Carlos Esparza is actually a bigger underdog than Karolina Kowalkiewicz against Jessica Andrade, and I, like you, was like, yo, Carla's pretty fucking good.
I mean, I guess people didn't watch her fight with Adela, but she did really good in that fight.
Yeah, and her last 2 losses are split decisions. Since losing to Joanna, all she's lost is split decisions. I mean, she could be like 4-0 since then. Former champion, and she's getting.
But like Suarez is like a bronze medalist or something.
Yeah, in wrestling.
So I guess that's why people.
Yeah, she's a very talented wrestler. But shoot, I mean, just with the experience factor, I mean, former champion. I mean, and Claudia Day is not as much of a wrestler as jiu-jitsu.
This could be a fight where she learns from. You know. I might just pick Esparza because she's a 5-1. What the fuck? 5-1 underdog.
Yeah, man, that's
crazy.
This is more like the Cejudo. You know, this is more like one we actually agree on picking rather than like Nico versus Shevchenko. But yeah, so
you should have heard Nico talking nonsense.
She said she was gonna knock Valentina out.
No. She said she was gonna knock her out and submit her.
And like, submit her?
How does that make any sense? I was like, yo. And then Shevchenko was just laughing, like, okay, what the, like, it was out of nowhere. I was like,
she's gonna pull a fucking GSP, knock her down, and then submit her. Like, fucking.
That was the funniest shit I heard all day. Oh shit.
That's funny. Nico, she shows her personality now that she's actually in the fight, having a little bit of fun with the media before this likely slaughter. I mean, it could very well be. It's funny, but yeah. So, actually, interesting to hear you guys both giving Carla Esparza a chance. I thought I was kind of like the only one. Like, what? Is people fucking sleep on Carla? So yeah. So
bro, we hardcore fans over here. We not stupid.
Yeah, I know. I'm okay. I respect on your name. I knew that, but still, I mean, to see those. So the odds makers are hardcore fans too. Maybe we just ain't as up on Tatiana Suarez's jiu-jitsu defense. If she's got a fucking high-level jiu-jitsu defense, then that really even takes more away from Carla Esparza. And also, Carla Esparza really doesn't get the better end of split decisions. I mean, we saw that fight with Claudia Gadelha. Very well could have went for Carla, and the judges gave it to Claudia. So she doesn't seem to get the better end of the judges' scorecards usually. That could also be a reason she's a pretty big underdog, because she's not likely to get the decision if it's a close fight. And then Tatiana's likely going to be able to get the fight to the ground. Really, Carla Esparza's best chance in this fight is going to be a submission off of her back. I mean, because even if she outstrikes her, she's going to get taken down eventually, and that could go in the judge's eyes. So, tough fight. But real quick, I want to know you guys' thoughts on this. Ashish Pejvar says Ortega versus Zabit. Who would win? Who you guys got? Brian Ortega, Zabit.
Oh, you know what? I'd have to go with Ortega. Wait. Brian Ortega versus Zabit.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta go with Ortega, man. Again, Zabit's gonna probably put an arsenal on him for 3 or 4 rounds. I mean, I imagine it'd be a title fight at that point if it was to happen. But I'd see Ortega getting a submission eventually, so I'd probably go with Ortega in that one, just about.
Yeah, I think Ortega would break him down.
Actually, I actually like your fucking pick forward, the way you say that he's probably going to, like, lose for a majority of the fight, because that very well could be the case in that fight. Zabit's very talented. He might be able to put the pause on Brian Ortega for the first few rounds, but Brian Ortega's got that clutch gene, and he's been down in fights, and he always finds a way to get the finish. So right now, I got to give the edge to Ortega as well. Ken Murphy, Webb's PK Vids, they both say Ortega. Zabit on the feet, says Mr. Perfect. But yeah, I think Ortega via clutch gene. Over here at PFL, we got Muhammad Daris in the cage. My stream's laggy as fuck, so not too much commentary on that. But we do got more fights for UFC 228 to break down real fast, and then we'll do our predictions at the end for each fight. We'll just go through for the main card and give our predictions. But also on the card, I just talked about it a little bit. Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Jessica Andrade. How do you guys see that fight going?
I see a beatdown for 3 rounds. A full-ass beatdown from Andrade to Kowalkiewicz. So
yeah,
man, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be brutal. I mean, don't get me wrong, she has a chance in this, but it's gonna be brutal, man.
I feel like this is a terrible style matchup for Karolina, because where she's good at is where every opponent that Andrade fights tries to get away from. So like Karolina likes to be in the clinch and all that. That's not gonna work with somebody like Andrade. She's gonna take your ass down and beat you up. You need footwork to beat Andrade, and so.
And also, I mean, having some, a solid attack off of your back, which is where the fight's likely to take, having a high level jiu-jitsu would at least help. And that's why I agree with you. It's a bad matchup for Karolina, because not only to the points you made, but once Jessica Andrade likely gets this fight to the ground with the fucking slam or however she does it, Karolina, she's not really the best off of her back, so that's not a good spot for her to be. Her best shot in this fight is going to be able to, do what Joanna did, use her jab, but she's not Joanna. That's the problem. She
don't fight off her back foot. That's the problem.
Yeah, she's not, and also even standing up, she's not Joanna, because Joanna has shown that there is a way to beat Jessica Andrade. But you've got to be like fucking Joanna, who's one of the best strawweights in the world. And to be fair, Karolina is ranked top 5, so you could say she is. But like you said, her footwork, I don't think she's got the, on the level of Joanna. And so it's going to be hard to avoid the takedown and the grappling and the pressure from Jessica Andrade, who has looked like mini Cyborg in both of her recent fights. Even when she ragdolled Claudia Gadelha, that was one thing. But against the tiny tornado Tisha Torres, she took her down like fucking 10 times in the fight. So she's a pit bull for sure coming forward, and yeah, man, Karolina Kowalkiewicz actually the smallest underdog out of these 3 women's fights, because of course in the next fight, Nico and Valentina, that's a big underdog. But forward,
massacre.
You got Jessica Andrade as well. You said,
oh my god.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is full-time family, right? So check it. Yeah, I'm trying to do a parlay for this entire card. So I have my boy Stuart. I want to get him in that parlay. Obviously, I want to get Zabit in there, and obviously, you guys know who I've got for the main event. Now, I was thinking for this fight, I want to get Andrade on this one, and then make it that for my parlay. So that's what I'm really debating on right now. And if I want to add Esparza to that, because I know Esparza is a good underdog to get. So that's kind of just what I'm debating at this moment.
Yeah, Andrade. I mean, I think because I think in my mind she could have worse odds. I think she could be a bigger favorite, in this fight against Karolina. I think the odds makers are giving Karolina actually a lot of respect in this fight, because Jessica Andrade is a bad matchup for anyone, and for sure looking like she could potentially challenge Rose Namajunas for the title if Rose was healthy. But she's not, and so she's got to take this fight in the meantime. But yeah, so, Andrade on a parlay wouldn't be too crazy. You're getting a little risky there with Till, though.
Hey, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
All right, let's talk about Shevchenko versus Montano first. I got Shevchenko, man, no mystic fucking full-time here. Valentina Shevchenko, I think she's taking the belt. The question is it going to be a first-round finish? Is it going to be a Priscilla Cachoeira-type beating? I actually think we're going to be surprised by Nico for one round, and I don't know what round. Maybe it's the first round, but maybe she win. I think she's going to win like a half of a round, and then Valentina takes over. But yeah, Valentina for the W.
Bro,
becomes the
I won't
flyweight
even
champion.
give Montano that benefit of the doubt that you just gave her. Like, because Valentina, she don't give people opportunity. She let them come to you, and then she capitalizes on your mistakes. So it's like this is gonna be a Priscilla Cachoeira type of beating here.
Damn, that would be crazy if Valentina did that to the champ.
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but like she won the title off of Roxanne Modafferi. Like, are we serious right now? Come on, man.
And actually, that was a step up because if you think about how it would
and
have
that
been
was a
if
step
Sarge
up from what she fought, and that's
well. And think about this: Sarge Eubanks actually won the show, and her record was like 4-2 at the time. So if Sarge didn't miss weight, it would have been like 4-2 Nico versus like 4-2 Sarge for the title. Like both of them.
That's what happened.
Yeah, Sarge missed weight after winning the show, and so her replacement ended up being Modafferi. But Sarge, I think, actually beat Modafferi on the show. So Modafferi didn't even win the show, and she stepped in, but she at least had a decent record as far as experience. She had like 30 pro fights. But Nico, on the other hand, she's got
definitely
and that was a close fight, though. If you remember, after the fight, Nico was pretty beat up.
Yeah, that was fight of the night. That they went at it.
Yeah.
That was a dog fight right there.
Could you imagine if Valentino was on that show?
That'd be like having a 99 overall character starting off like a game.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, man, this is gonna be. It's crazy because it almost makes me, it makes me want to watch the fight almost because it's been so long, like just to see. Valentina hasn't fought in a while either. She could have, for a paycheck, just beat up one of these top contenders. Really, it's been a while. Like after she heard about the second injury, she could have been like, man, fuck this, I'm not waiting. I'm gonna take a fight. But she doesn't need the money, or she would have. But man, it's been so long that we went without seeing Nico or Valentina. I'm kind of like, even though this isn't the biggest fight, or it's not even unexpected results, we all picked Valentina to win. I can't kind of wait to see this fight. Just to see how it plays out. Someone says, Everlove Drugs says Valentina Day Massacre. Exist BMX says she's going to dance on top of Nico's body to victory.
Oh, shit. Dude, I cannot believe Montano said she's going to knock out then submit Shevchenko.
Pinhead said, I think Nico shocks a lot of people. That's why I think she shocks a lot of people, even if she wins one round. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she...
rounds.
Yeah,
I mean, I can see her showing like a lot of heart. People will be like, "Oh wow, she showed a lot of heart, but she's still gonna get beat." I mean, I see her maybe extending it to like the third, maybe even fourth round, maybe, but it's only gonna just be a one-way beating for the most part. So.
Yeah, I got Valentina 4th round submission. Yeah, let's go with that.
4th round submission. You think Nico lasts to the 4th round? Hell, that's even impressive with Valentina. The way people are looking at it.
I mean, Valentina, she's not like got like crazy power or anything. She just got a lot of technique. So she might finish earlier. Who knows?
All right, it's time.
Yeah, I mean, if I go, it's time. Let me take some deep breaths, man.
Hold on. Should we leave forward for last, or should he go first?
Yeah, we'll leave forward for last. I know he's ready. Yeah, we're gonna leave.
Maybe we should make him go first, so he might be able to convince us.
Well,
wait.
No. That's why we go first, so he convinces us. I'm
decided, but I feel like I'm responsible to win, but I'm kind of decided.
Let's get full time to go first, because I want to rebut what he says.
Y'all ready? All right. Yeah, I'm picking.
Here, man.
I'm picking motherfucking Tyron Woodley, the champion, as of right now. I don't think I'm gonna change. I can't put my predictions out. I'm giving the edge to Tyron Woodley. I think motherfuckers are really. I think it's even though I respect Darren Till, put some respect on his name. He's dangerous. He's big, a little too big. Either way. Even though I put respect on his name, and I think he's even got a future, he could even potentially be a future welterweight champion. I think right now it's just a little too soon, Junior. Just a little too soon. Tyron Woodley beats a lot of the best welterweights in the world, defended his title multiple times against the top contender. And Darren Till, on the other hand, the only top 5 fighter he beat was Wonder Boy, and that was a little arguable or controversial. A lot of people don't even think he beat him. So, aside from that fight, that was his only fight against a top welterweight in the world, aside from Cowboy Cerrone. A lot of people, that was a good win, but at the same time, it wasn't one of the top 5 guys that have been in the top of the welterweight division. So Tyron Woodley's a lot more proven. Darren Till's, we don't know how the weight cut's going to affect him. I'm sure he's coming in, he's going to make the weight, but making the weight, how's that going to affect his performance? Is he ready for the 5 rounds? He did go 5 rounds with Wonder Boy in that decision, but we don't know how this fight's going to play out. Both of these guys have fought 5 rounds, but you still aren't 100% convinced of Tyron Woodley's cardio or Darren Till's cardio. And also, what's the game plan for Darren Till? A lot of people say that he's going to pressure him against the fence and bring the fight to him and knock him out. Well, that's what Tyron Woodley wants from his opponents. He wants you to pressure him. He wants to have that space behind you, whether it's for a double leg or to explode and knock your ass out. So Tyron Woodley being more proven as a welterweight champion, taking on a young Darren Till. I think if this fight happened next year or the year after even, Darren Till could win it. I just think I would like to see him make the weight before he fought for the title, so I would know it's not going to affect his performance before I just pick him to come in here and dethrone Tyron Woodley, who's one of the greatest welterweights of all time, even though he's not the greatest yet. Of course, you give that nod to GSP, but Tyron Woodley's making his case, and so it could. We'll see. It's a close fight, but I'm going to pick the champ. So you can go.
Right, so I go
Infamous.
next.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yo, Ford, you my bro, man. So just know that.
Hey, choose your words carefully, man.
I think I've been debating this back and forth, but I gotta give the edge to Woodley this time, man. Like, especially since they. All right, so let me break this down. Like, they both like to fight at that like outside distance range, so I kind of see this being a fucking staring contest here, and then maybe a takedown here or there will get Woodley this decision. Honestly. Like, because like, I feel like Rory did the perfect game. If you want to see the perfect game plan to be Woodley, Rory McDonald did that shit. Like, he kept a jab right in Woodley's face, combinations, head kicks. Like, he was too close for Woodley to even counter him. He was too close. Like, he had like a perfect defense to block the right hand too. I feel like still has some of those tools, but I don't know if like he's gonna fight him on the inside like that. I think like he's just gonna come in and out like he usually does, and I don't know if that's gonna.
Real quick, Infamous, but I want to get your thoughts on this as well. So real quick, I also want to know, like, because you started off, you said it might be a steering contest. Well, there's a lot of pressure on this fight to be entertaining, and I see also people in the comments. Ashavish Pajar says it'll turn out like Stipe versus Francis turned out. So my question is, not only do you see how the fight's going, but do you think it's going to be entertaining, or do you see it being a snoozer a little bit?
I think in spots it'll be entertaining, but I kind of see this being a little bit of a waiting
a chess match.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and I want your thoughts on that too, Forward. So you can continue, Infamous, on breaking it down, and you picked Woodley. And I just
like Woodley, he's like he's such a like stubborn fighter. Like, he won't go first, like no matter what. Like, you have to come to him, and then he counters you. Like, you have to be able to draw his counters out first, and then like counter him. That makes sense. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for Woodley in a close decision, but I think Woodley edges him.
All right, I'm gonna play the sound effect for Forward. Where is it at? All right, Forward. Booker Bash 2018, Gorilla Smash 2018. Let's go.
All right, first and foremost, let me take a couple of deep breaths. No, I'm joking now. Okay, first and foremost, we all know that this fight is actually going to happen this time. There's no BS about him not missing weight and all that. I mean, you remember what happened last time. Yeah, I mean, people are kind of stressing about, he's going to miss weight.
Will it affect his performance? Not even if he misses weight, Tyron's going to take the fight. But will it affect his performance?
The weight cut itself, no. The reason why it's never affected it before, and that's going to affect him now for the biggest fight of his career. Again, we all know the reason why he missed the weight before, because of obviously the girlfriend, what he doesn't care about. Yeah, he missed it because of her having an issue in the hospital, and that was sorted out.
Clearly he cared. That was his ex-girlfriend, by the way. Clearly he cares.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that was his ex that he got tatted.
Oh, wow.
Ironically, it looks like Paige Van Zandt, so just kind of interesting there about. But yeah, back onto the fight itself now. I've looked at it multiple ways, right? And I look at it first of all technically, and technically I see it all in the favor of Darren Till now. I look at where they want to fight in the ring, and I look at just Woodley wanted to be back against the cage. Obviously, Till does his best work, pushing and come on against the cage like he did versus Cerrone, where he let off a barrage of punches and obviously looked at them, finish you from there. And yes, people will point out to me and say that, oh, Darren Till hasn't finished many of his opponents. Okay, but he's knocked down literally every single one of his opponents in the ring, including Wonderboy in his last fight, one of the most, let's say, evasive fighters in the welterweight division, in fact, in the whole of the UFC. So that's another reason why I see Till being able to win this now. Again, another reason, technically, is if you look at Woodley, the best attribute he really has to maybe, like, somewhat for Till's best abilities is his wrestling, but is Woodley really a great offensive wrestler? No, I don't see that in him. Again, there was a fight for him to really showcase that. Would have been against Wonderboy in either the first or the second fight. And he went for maybe like 4 or 5 takedowns combined, and only landed 2 in both fights. So can't we look at that as a reason why he's going to be able to control a bigger man like Till, who's actually shown good takedown defense in the fights previous in the UFC. Now, another thing that I look at in this fight, tactically, from my tactical point of view, the only way I really see Woodley being able to win is if he comes up with an ingenious game plan on the night and actually finds a way to, I want to think maybe stifle Till in some sense, but I really look at it and think, is he really going to be able to come up with that kind of game plan? Because part of Woodley's thing is, yes, he's a smart guy. We will give him credit for that. But he's also someone who really thinks a lot. He overthinks a lot in the cage. And that's why you end up with him just having staring contests where he just looks at his opponent and thinks, should I do this? But, what are they going to do? You can almost see him, like, literally the coals in his brain turning over, thinking, what's he going to do? What's my opponent going to do? You even saw that in the Damian Maia fight where, okay, yeah, his right arm was out, but he could have gone for the finish after once he realized there was no takedown threat from Maia. But yeah, he was always overthinking, thinking, I can't go in too sloppy. I can't do this. I can't do that just in case I get caught in a headlock or some sort of submission and then that's my belt.
He tore his leg.
So that is true. Yes, I do give him that. But I mean, there was still plenty of opportunities to go and finish that fight. So I was looking at it and think that if you're just in there staring at someone like Till and just thinking, what should I do? What should I do? Till's going to be there. Yes, it could be a boring fight. Yes, but Till most likely he's going to put that pressure on Woodley where it's almost like Conor McGregor pressure where he's pressuring you, but he's still counterpunching. So he's still waiting for you he's pressuring you to the point where you've got to throw, like Nate Diaz was having to throw in that second fight. And then he was just countering off the punches and obviously knocking down every single time. And I see that happening in this fight with Till. I see Woodley looking to try and blitz once he gets a bit too angsty. And Till is going to be someone who's just so much more technically proficient than someone like Maia, even someone like Wonderboy to an extent where he's actually more willing to pull the trigger. He's going to catch Woodley coming in one of those blitzes. And then after that point, it's going to just be once Till figures out his timing, figure out the range, he's going to go for that finish. And I don't see this going out outside of 2 rounds. So I see an early second round knockout for Till. I see a vicious, and I'll be real, it's not going to be a TKO, it's going to be a vicious KO. He's going to knock him down, he's going to finish him with ground and pound. Boy, man. Gorilla, let me get it right. Booger Bash 2018, Gorilla Smash 2018. We're seeing a new British champion in there. Woo!
Not biased at all.
Trust me, guys. Oh, no, not biased at all, not biased at all. But I'm telling you guys, if you want to put that money on it, if you want to get that parlay with my boy Stewart in there, bro, just, hey, if you want to make some money, then that's the way to go, man.
Get the British parlay, man, be careful.
You started posting videos again, right?
But yeah, man, second round.
The one thing I would say, though, is that, like, Stephen Thompson can do, like, those things, too, like, come forward and counter somebody as they're trying to counter, and that's actually how he got dropped by Woodley. Because he tried to counter Woodley's right hand, and he stepped back too far, and Woodley actually caught him. So Woodley, the thing with Woodley is, like, you have to be, you have to be a good liar in there. You have to, like, really sell him on your fakes. And if Till could do that, then yeah, he could catch him. But Woodley has shown that he could counter people even when they're trying to bait his right hand.
Darren Till spars pretty hard too. I wonder if that's gonna affect his chin.
I feel like if Darren Till comes in here and just fights Woodley like Nate Marquardt did, like just fights it, I feel like he wins that every time. But
yeah, man, he can win.
I feel like if he just comes in here and just fights, like throws his offense, like his high kicks and all that, like that could stop Woodley's right hand too.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing
is
with
like
that, right?
Easier path to victory than just having a staring contest, which I feel like is gonna happen because he just likes to fight at his distance, you know?
The thing is that for Till, I don't feel Till's going to really fear that power with Woodley. And a lot of people are gonna, in the comments are going to be like, oh, the T would bomb and all that. But if you look at his last few fights, I mean, he landed that right hand on Maia, on Wonderboy, and like, he only landed a couple of times, but that didn't really like put their lights out like I did with Robbie Lawler. Like, you've seen that it's not as like deadly as, let's say, a Rumble right hand or even a McGregor left hand. Like, it's not that point where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, the fight's over. No, I feel Till I can still handle that. And when people want to question, oh, Till's not been in there with great competition, he's not been in there with people who's really put him through the mold. Let's see, has he got the heart to really fight 5 hard rounds? Or he has shown that in the Derby fight, the Derby fight where he actually drew that fight. If you not saw that fight, it was pretty much going as long with every single UFC fight he's had in the every single fight he's had in the UFC, every 3-round fight, where he's been dominating the first 2 rounds. But in the 3rd round, he gassed a little bit, which is a little bit worrying if he goes into the late 4th and 5th round against Woodley. But then he took an onslaught of punishment where it was a 10-8 round, and that's why it was a draw. But what he showed in that fight was that he can actually take the punishment, he can come back, and he can survive the round, and then maybe get into a later round where he can then obviously put back the offense on. Obviously, that fight ended in the 3rd round, and it ended up being a draw, but he has shown that he has got the heart.
Did he have a bad weight cut that fight?
That was the fight where he supposedly had the bad weight cut, people are saying, but
he dislocated his shoulder in the fight, if I'm not mistaken. He talked about it in the post-fight speech. He was like, yo, like, and he was looking good in the beginning of the fight, so it actually made sense. The fight that he lost the 10-8, he was like, yo, like, I didn't have a shoulder, I still was trying to throw it. Like, he explained it in the post-fight speech. But yeah, he came back and he like dislocated his shoulder. I don't know if it was in the 2nd or before the 3rd round though. The round that he lost bad, he had a dislocated shoulder. But yeah, man.
Oh yeah, like let me just add one more thing. Like like a lot of people don't notice this, but like Woodley, he like squats down, which actually makes you harder. Even like if you ever sparred before, like that's one thing like people do when they pressure you, like they just like lower their level. It actually makes you a lot harder to hit, and you actually have to lower your level too to hit somebody that does that. But that's just one more thing I'll point out.
Yeah.
One thing that I've seen in Woodley's game, sorry to cut you off, but one thing I've seen in his game that really could help him is his leg kicks. I mean, I feel like obviously someone like Toe, he stands up really tall, has a long stance. You can catch him out with the leg kicks.
I don't think that's enough work for Till.
Exactly.
Till's
too good with
something that leg kicks.
To an extent, yes, but I mean the power that he throws his leg kicks. I mean, we saw what it did to Conde, and just that one kick, it literally blew out his leg. So I feel like that's something that could help him in his fight. But again, even though he's a smart fighter, he doesn't tactically use these tools that he has, which is like his wrestling, his leg kicks, and the fight as much. He didn't use it much against Wonderboy, and that's something that's going to be his outdoing when he doesn't really use these tools that he has. He ends up just backing up against the cage and like almost looking just to counter and point fight. And you can only do that so many times because against Wonderboy, who's really gun shy, okay, you can kind of get away with it to an extent. But someone against Toe, who's going to actually put that pressure on you and actually be able to hit you and not be hit, that's only going to lead to one way, and that's going to be that 2nd round KO as I've predicted. So yeah, we can see I could be wrong on this, and people have been saying that, oh, what are you going to say when he loses? I mean, I'll be here if he loses, which he obviously won't, but I'm going to be here.
It's not like if he loses, he's done forever.
I want to win, don't get me wrong, but it's like that's just the way I see the fight right now.
Yeah, if Till wins, I'm not. It's not like I wouldn't be pissed. I wouldn't be mad at all. Yeah. Not only do I not care about being wrong, it'd be fun. He's undefeated, motherfucking. He'd be a huge champion. He'd bring fresh matchups to the. As far as the welterweight division is concerned, I mean, we haven't seen Till versus, like we said, one of my reasons for picking Woodley against a lot of the top guys. Lawler, fucking any of these top dudes that have been around. Lawler, I mean, of course, the USMANs, the Covingtons, but we haven't seen Woodley versus them either. But Lawler, I mean, just looking at the top of the welterweight division, there's a lot of fresh matchups for Darren Till. And who knows, he's also could have those champ aspirations. He might actually get to move up to middleweight and fight for, he might actually want to do that. He's talked about it in the past, but I mean, looking at the welterweight rankings, you could see Till versus Dos Anjos, Till versus Lawler. I mean, there's a lot of fun fights, and yes, I wouldn't be mad if Till lost the fight or anything. I just think Tyron Woodley, he's fucking the champ for a reason, and it might be a little too soon. But like I said, if this fight happens, we could see this fight again very well in the future. Like 2 years from now, if Darren Till gets a big win or two. Maybe he fights Robbie Lawler. Maybe he fights fucking RDA. Who knows? There's been talks about the Till versus Thompson rematch, but I don't know if people really want to see that, even though there would be nice to see some clarity in that. I'd like to see how
one thing I do want to bring up is, I mean, it's been quite refreshing to have a Woodley build-up where he's not complaining about, oh, people have been race baiting like this, oh, I'm not a deserving champion. No, he's actually focused on the fight and the fighter he's fighting. So it's kind of been good to see that from that point of view. And obviously, once he loses, which would be a shame, but he's going to lose. Once he does lose, I mean, it's going to be pretty interesting to see the whole backlash where he's going to be begging for a title rematch. And for some reason, I just feel like he won't get the immediate rematch. And
he won't.
You know how Woodley can be when he's not. I mean, exactly. You know how entitled Woodley kind of feels at times, and when he doesn't get his way, you can kind of see how he kind of tends to.
Yeah, he's going to take the UFC to court.
So. Yeah, I can see that. I don't think he's going to win either.
I definitely could see it. And I could just see Tom Woodley sitting down right there, like, hey, just looking like a guy who's just been fucked over.
The thing is, he waving hard, right? He'll literally represent himself.
He probably beat his own lawyer.
No joke. Man. But let me ask you guys a question. If he does lose, do you see him being able to come back? And let's not forget, he is 37. He is actually getting on in age, so. And I don't think he's been in too many wars, you can say, but he has been around for quite a while.
I think he would for sure. Could he? I mean, it depends on how he loses this fight. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
Darren
let's
Till,
say how he loses by how I've said so. A second round KO, vicious KO. How do you see him coming back?
like if he won the first round and then got KO'd in the second round, I could see him possibly coming back. But if Darren Till just has his number, kind of like Rose Namajunas and Yanni on Jacek type shit, like if it feels like if I feel like Darren Till just dominated Woodley from start to finish, then I don't think he'll win the rematch. But Tyron Woodley, I don't think he's a guy that just shows signs of like he's just super old. He's still hardworking. He's still beating the top guys of the division. So I don't see why he wouldn't be able to come back. Now, would he get an immediate rematch? Like you, that would be the question. I don't know if he would get one, but if he did, it would still be a close fight. I think. I mean, I could see him coming back. I don't think like maybe he has 1 or 2 more years. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I think maybe 1 or 2 more years. I don't think he's at his I don't think he's past his prime. I still think he's looking good. Now that day's gonna come. I don't know. It could come this fight. Shoot, if he wins this fight, it could come next fight against Colby. He's not gonna be here forever. But yeah, if he loses this fight, depending on if he gets an immediate rematch or not, if he has to go through 2 fights and then get a title shot, I don't really see him coming back. But yeah, man, it'd be interesting to see even if he gets an immediate rematch. You know what I'm saying? Darren Till.
Let me ask you on the flip side, how great do you think his legacy is going to be if he actually wins this fight? Which again, he won't, but let's say he wins the fight. How great do you think his legacy will actually be? And like,
I don't think it would add that much to
time.
his legacy.
Yeah, this isn't a big legacy. Well, this is the thing. Actually,
right
now it doesn't seem like that. In the future, when Darren Till goes on to do big things and we look back at it, it's going to be like, oh shit, Woodley had a win over fucking Till.
Like, this is a victory that could age really well over time. Like, just like with Conor's victories over Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier, this could age very well over time.
That's what I think it is.
Let's say Till goes up to win the middleweight belt, and let's say even wins the light heavyweight belt. Do you know how big this victory will look at over time? And I mean, just looking at it, who else in welterweight history has had this many defenses other than GSP or look this dominant, look this good?
His Gastelum win is aging well. You know what I'm saying? Gastelum was looking great at middleweight, and he gave him 10 pounds, so that's looking good. So yeah, I think right now it wouldn't look crazy because Darren Till doesn't have a crazy legacy, but he's still young. And he would be the first to beat Darren Till as well, the one to give Darren Till that take that 0. So that's something to be said, and I think it'll age even that much better if Darren Till goes on to win.
And in my opinion, I mean, he'd be maybe like one more fight from cleaning up the division, and like people who've cleaned up the divisions are pretty much only all-time greats who have done so. I mean, after this, it would literally only be either Colby or USMAN, and maybe if they fight each other in the meantime, and then he fights the winner, that would literally mean he claimed out the entire division, because behind that's maybe Ponzinibbio and those kind of guys, but those are quite a way back from actually fighting for the title. So.
Yeah, man. I think his legacy is up there. I mean, and Dana White said this. I don't know if it's going to happen, but when he was talking about why he potentially wouldn't want Conor McGregor fighting at 155 is because he would vacate the belt, or GSP fighting at 155. Yeah, it's because he would vacate the belt. But he said he wants GSP to fight at welterweight. Maybe if Woodley beats Till, I mean, maybe he can earn that GSP fight. Maybe, I don't know. It's going to take a lot, but GSP hasn't been super open to it in the past. But if that's what the UFC
think if Woodley wins this fight, he should call out GSP. Come on, Woodley.
Yeah, that'd be a good call out.
He's never had a chance to really call out someone after a fight, because I mean, the first title defense, he had a draw, so he couldn't really call someone out. The second one was a ball fest. The third one was a ball fest. So like, he kind of needs a big performance in a title, in one of his title defenses. Because let's say he loses this fight, his title reign, as good as it sounds, and like he's had it for a long time, over compared to everyone else who's a champion right now. It's kind of, you wouldn't really look at it that greatly in hindsight if you really think about it, because I mean, all his wins have been kind of like, you've always looked at it like he won, but something else. He won, but it was actually a draw. So he kind of needs a big performance in one of these title defenses.
All right, and Derek B said he finally finished his bagel. If the rest of you guys have, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Do your boy a favor. We got 31 watching. Hit thumbs up if you're enjoying the chat. We got PFL live on over here. I see Connor Lodge asked you watching PFL. What the fuck's wrong with Hell's Corner? I've got no clue, but I'm watching it. But I'm watching it with no sound, and also it's on a shitty laptop, so it's a little laggy. But I got it on, but I didn't hear what was going on with this corner. So let us know in the chat. I don't know what was going on with that. But Ever Loves Drugs, I like Till. I hope he doesn't get yaired. I mean, and I want to ask you guys this. Are you guys interested in the Woodley versus GSP fight? Like, do you guys think that would be a good fight for GSP, or do you think it doesn't make sense for him?
That'd be a good, I mean, if GSP fights, he's going to sell good. So.
Yeah. You think
Khabib.
Woodley can raise his stock enough?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a great fight just from like what we would actually see in the octagon. But again, from listening to GSP's interview, especially the one in Australia, he's only looking at the winner of Conor versus Khabib, and pretty much he's looking at facing Conor. So again, especially if Conor wins that, there's zero chance he fights Woodley next.
Yeah. What if Khabib wins? Do you think he would fight Khabib or Woodley? Or do you think he just doesn't come back?
He probably doesn't come back. I think.
I think he fight Khabib. You know, I mean, even though they look like, I think they're actually friends or they've talked, so they're maybe like mutual friends.
Also, Khabib would still be undefeated, and he would
exactly so
have a win over McGregor. He'd still be undefeated. That could,
yeah,
and
he might,
and it could still be for the
because
third
of the belt.
Yeah.
Plus, it's all about the legacy.
Of the
It's not really going back to beat Woodley. I mean, what does it do for his legacy to him? Because I mean, for me, that's a hardcore. Yeah, that's amazing. If he beats Woodley right now to show that he can beat the best welterweight from before his time, during his time, and after his time, essentially.
Yeah.
And also going up to obviously beat the middleweight champion. But for him, he's all about winning the belts, and he can go win a third belt in another division. I mean, that's something that nobody's ever done and probably will never do. So that's kind of what it's about for me.
That would be huge. Winning a third belt in a third division. That would be fucking huge. So he might even fight Khabib, but yeah, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, that would be crazy either way if GSP fights at 155, because, I mean, we've never seen him fight there for one. He'd be fighting for the third belt at their weight class. That'd be crazy. But one of you guys said you had something, I think it was you, Infamous, you had something to say about maybe Max Holloway. When we were talking about Max Holloway, you said you had something to ask. I don't know, or something you wanted to talk about.
It was Dustin Poirier. He said like he has better boxing than Nate Diaz or something like that.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Poirier versus fucking Nate Diaz. It's official. UFC 230 co-main event. Who said he had better boxing?
Poirier said he had better boxing than Nate Diaz.
Ooh.
So I was like, what?
I don't know about that. It's gonna be some great boxing in that fight though. Poirier does got some good boxing, but that's
good boxing.
Nate Diaz has great boxing.
Yeah, I don't know. I see
Nate Diaz also gets tagged up, and you know what I'm saying. And Dustin Poirier's got some power, but so does McGregor, though, right? I mean, McGregor's got fucking power. He wasn't able to put Diaz away.
The only other person that dropped Nate Diaz other than McGregor, who like, other than when he got finished, obviously, by Josh Thompson, but he has never really been dropped by anybody else.
Yeah, man. Stamina MC London calling. What's going on, man? I don't know if you missed it or not. We had Forward in here explaining why Till's gonna knock out Woodley in the second round. Two of us on the panel got Woodley. Who you guys got in the chat? Woodley or Till? I want to actually.
Who you got, Stamina?
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I have it ready. I was gonna say I might have the fight companion mode ready with the predictions. That's the wrong picture.
This is Sean O'Malley.
All right, we're back.
This is Sean O'Malley. You're watching Full-Time MMA.
All right, now we're back. All right, so that's UFC 228, man. UFC Moscow, I think, is after that. I don't think there's really much going on other than that. You guys want to break down UFC Moscow or any specific videos? What do you guys think about the whole fucking Cerrone versus Perry? You guys ready for that fight? UFC Denver? You guys up to date on what's going on with Cerrone leaving Winklejohn and shit like that?
Yeah.
That shit was kind of crazy.
Man.
Shit's deeper than rap.
I mean, I want to see Cerrone versus Sanchez after seeing what happened.
Yeah, Cerrone versus Sanchez. Yo. No
such an easy fight for Cerrone.
Cerrone versus Sanchez is a fight we might need to see, though. Diego Sanchez is actually coming up, right, at UFC 228.
He's fighting Craig White.
Craig White down here on the early prelims, 5-pass fight card on the early prelims. Yeah, it looks like he changed his nickname back to Nightmare. No more like Angel Wings, or what was his last one? Like the Savior?
Lionheart.
No, Lionheart is Anthony Smith.
No, he had Lionheart.
The Truth.
Was it Lionheart?
Wasn't it The Truth?
Or it might have been The
Truth.
Something like that, yeah. But he's the Nightmare, man. He's back taking on Craig White and potentially looking at a future fight with Donald Cerrone after this whole Winklejohn ordeal. But yeah, man, other than that, other than the news I talked about earlier today, is there anything else y'all wanted to talk about? I mean, PFL.
What do you think of McGregor not wanting to do media?
Man, I think he might be taking this fight serious. Either that or, I mean, really, it's either he's taking this fight serious or he's just
he is.
Yeah, I'm sure he's taking this fight serious. Maybe he just doesn't want to be distracted with the media. He's still doing a little promoting on social media, which I think that's underrated as far as, I mean, what he's been doing on social media, it's at least making headlines. we're not seeing his actual trash talk song and dance
We
type
should see,
deal, but
Khabib isn't really doing media either. I mean, like he's part of this too, you know.
yeah, that's true.
He should be doing some interviews.
And honestly, I'm still waiting to see too. I think Conor McGregor. I at least want to see one press conference. I mean,
yeah, of course we're gonna get at least.
You know
one.
what I'm saying?
But apparently the date got pushed back to September 20th instead of September 6th.
Oh, okay, for the press conference.
That was supposed to be September 6th, and now they're gonna push it back again.
Yeah. And also, right now, Conor McGregor has more power than ever. So it's really, if he wants to do press, he'll do it, and if he don't, he don't. Now, also, it seems like he's not as worried about money, because if he was, of course, you want to do as much press as possible to sell those pay-per-views. But he's gonna sell no matter what. I mean, could he sell a little more? Yeah, but it's not like he's in this for the money. He's here to get his belt back. He's got a tough fight on him. He can't just walk over Khabib. It's not a great matchup. The Nate Diaz fight for Conor McGregor, yeah, he was bigger, but it's still a good matchup for McGregor. This is not a good matchup for McGregor. He's got to focus. Seems kind of short notice on how it was announced on like two months notice. You know, it's almost.
I feel like the short notice favors McGregor though.
You think so?
Fight. Yeah, I really do. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah. So as far as the no media thing, yeah, man. Also, you got to think about it. Fucking the way the numbers have been going. The UFC needs McGregor now more than ever, so he can really do whatever he wants.
Yeah, you know the guy that's fighting Artem.
The guy that's fighting Artem.
The Chechen guy. Yeah.
No, I didn't know it was a Chechen guy.
You didn't? Yeah. Khabib's teammate. You know that he's fighting Artem. You didn't know?
I didn't know he was fighting Khabib's teammate. I wanted to see him fight one of Khabib's teammates, but I didn't know it was actually going down. I thought
it's like two. Yeah, he's actually out of a suspension for steroids. Him and another one of Khabib's.
Pull up Artem Lobov's next fight. I seen he got announced, but yeah, I didn't know the guy was Khabib's teammate.
It was the guy that Conor posted on his Instagram saying that he was a fake.
Zabira Tukagov. Okay,
yeah.
So that's Khabib's teammate. Now, I seen Conor McGregor's Twitter post where he was talking about, like, a true Chechen would never support a Dagestani attack on another Chechen, or a true Dagestani, something like that. I seen that Twitter post. I didn't really get it. So can you translate?
Well, I mean, because over there in Chechen, if that's like people get killed for saying stuff like that. Like if you're a fake Chechen, that's basically what it is.
Okay, and so
it's like a very high level insult over there.
He's from Chechnya. I'm guessing that's the Chechen. And so is Artem Lobov also from Chechnya?
No, he's from some other place. I forgot that.
Okay, because he was talking about like a Chechen on Chechen, some type of. So I didn't know what it really was.
No, because Artem was with another guy. No, Artem was with the. You ever seen that guy who was fake McGregor? He was like brolic and he was walking around. And shit? He's a Chechen that was with Artem at the time, Islam Agudov or something like that.
Oh, okay. So since he was a Chechen on the side of Artem Lobov and he's on the side of Khabib, it's like Chechen versus Chechen.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to attack your own people over there.
Well, it's kind of works both ways, but the thing Conor McGregor mentioned was the fact that Khabib was Dagestani. So, because also if you look at it the other way, right, it's Artem Lobov's homie's Chechen. If he's on the other side, it's Chechen on Chechen either way. But Conor McGregor, I'll pull up the tweet actually from McGregor, but he said something about a Dagestani-led attack. You know, because Khabib is of course Dagestan. Conor McGregor Twitter, I'll pull that up. But I think it had something to do with Khabib being from Dagestan as well, because that's why this shit is deeper than rap, man. There's a lot of shit going on. The political motherfuckers taking pictures with Putin and all type of stuff. Let's see, here it is. He said, a true Chechen would never assist in a Dagestani-led attack on another Chechen. A true Chechen would never take orders from a Dagestani man. This is treason. There is no worse than treason. So it's, you know how... I don't know all the politics to Russia. I know like the Dagestanis like kind of consider themselves separate from the Russian population.
Yeah, but from what I remember, they fought in the war together, Dagestan and Chechnya, so it doesn't really make sense.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it's some political shit going on over there now, because Conor McGregor said a true Chechen would never take orders from a Dagestani man. And it's like, so it's like, okay, so it's like since he's on Team Dagestan, it's like they're taking shots at that. So yeah, there's a lot going on. But yeah, I actually didn't know the Zubira guy was Khabib's teammate. It's not surprising, but yeah, man, now Artem's taking... That's going to be a tough fight for Artem. 18-4, taking on... He's been fighting some tough dudes in the UFC, man.
Hey, man, the thing about Artem is that you lose to him, you look like shit, so...
That's the pressure.
The pressure of losing to Artem.
He's trying to get back to 500.
It's so much that, like, it makes it a tough fight.
Well, nigga's 13-14 right now.
Well, Seismic Shock says that Artem is the best man, but I don't think so.
Yo, can you
He
guys hear
might
me?
be right here. It
Yeah.
says,
Alright, cool. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry
I'm
to cut you off, but yo, I just checked. So my boy just texted me, saying that there's some big Nick Diaz news in it. So I checked on my
Oh
Twitter
yeah, I saw that. He's
I
back.
haven't.
yo, yeah. Oh, okay, so let me read it out to you. So basically, he sent a text saying, obviously on Twitter saying, I'm grateful this case is finally over. I want to thank my team, thank my lawyer, Ross Goodman, for the excellent work. But most importantly, I want to thank the fans who stuck by me throughout this process. And I'm happy to put this chapter behind me in my life. And I'm now looking forward to focusing on my return, Nick Diaz.
Okay, I'm putting
Ooh.
that in the title. Nick Diaz, innocent or return? Innocent or return?
Return.
Return. There we go. Let's
Damn.
go.
So, boy, if he's returning, I mean, who's he going to be fighting against? When's
Pull
it
that
going to
up
be?
on the
Boy, that's a
screen.
lot of questions.
I just hope he could fight against
What is
somebody.
his last tweet? Let's say I'll fight all you pussies, make some money, bitch. Nick Diaz. Fucking dog. All right, here's
It's about time you
the
see him
tweet.
fight, man.
Yo, if Darren Till beats Woodley, that could be a cool fight. Darren Till versus Nick
Ooh.
Diaz.
Yeah, man, there's a few good fights for Nick Diaz. Honestly, Silva's back. I mean, you know,
Yeah, honestly, I'd
even
like to
Colby
see
Covington,
Darren Till
I mean,
versus Nick Diaz. Like, no,
Darren Till versus Nick Diaz, that'd be a good fight.
that's
That'd be a
fire
great
right there.
fight.
That's amazing.
That'd be a fucking great fight. Nick Diaz fought at middleweight and welterweight. Darren Till, big welterweight. I mean, just a great style matchup. I don't know. Hey, if
Nick's gonna come forward, so it's gonna be a fight.
Honestly,
regardless.
if Darren Till wins, you know how it goes. Nick Diaz being a big name, he could get that
Yeah,
fucking shot.
I think that happens. Yeah,
He could very well get it if fucking Till wins. Yeah, I'm grateful.
Yep.
Forward
What you
ready
think
for
about
us.
that forward?
Focusing
Darren
on
Till
his return.
Yeah.
What about the interim champion Colby though, man? Can't be doing our boy dirty like that.
Oh shit, Nick Diaz and Colby Covington, they've had a little bit of a back and forth recently.
I'm not trying to see Nick Diaz get wrestled out. Nope.
Yeah, I know. That's not that's you really don't want to see a Diaz brother against a wrestler. Honestly, it's just not the best matchup. Suplex City round 3, Roy McDonald, never forget. Stamina MC said Till versus Diaz. Who allowed it? Man, what a fight. Bisping versus Diaz says ever loves drugs. I don't know if he's coming back. He got his eye fixed and shit. They'd be crazy to come back. What's up?
You ever seen Islam Makhachev, his loss?
His loss?
Yeah, Islam Makhachev, Khabib. He used to be undefeated, but he got like one punch knocked out by some guy. And I'm like, that could be Khabib right there, man.
It could be. That happened with John Moraga. He knocked out one of them dudes. He knocked out a dude that was undefeated. Adriano Martins knocked out Islam Makhachev. Hell yeah, there's a lot of, and especially a lot of the tougher wrestlers, and I don't know if it's got to do with their weight cut or what, but you see that with Kevin Lee.
The problem with them is their fucking striking is terrible.
Well,
and not even that. It's just
not even that though. Whenever they get clipped, they seem to go out. You know what I'm saying? Some of the time.
Those type of knockouts, when you go out like easily, it's when your feet aren't under you. You see where Aldo got hit? Like he didn't have no root, no weight, and that's easy. You get knocked out very easily when you don't have like a base. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's the one thing I see from Khabib. When you lead with your head and you don't have a base, you get knocked out pretty easily because you don't have fucking weight on you.
Yeah, that's just something that I look at in Kevin Lee. It's like, man, he's a great fighter, but it's like his chin is in question. And I wonder sometimes I have to do with the big weight cut with some of these dudes, though. Because
Kevin Lee,
let me see who John Moraga is. He out of the top 15?
Mayweather Boxing Club, it's retarded.
Oh, here he is. There he is. Who did he knock out? He was a big underdog in that fight. One of them Russian dudes. I think he was undefeated. Magomed Bibulatov. He was a big ass favorite coming into that fight. 14-0. John Moraga knocked him out in the first round. But yeah, man. And it happens. Everyone loses their zero. Sooner rather than later, will Khabib go 50-0 like fucking Mayweather, or will he lose that motherfucker? You know what I'm saying?
Khabib already said he only has like 2 years left.
Well, he did. He did.
Yeah.
He did say he was going to retire sooner rather than later.
He's the type to like leave before he would lose. Yeah.
Damn, that would be crazy. But I mean, he's got tough matchups ahead. Even if he beats McGregor, he might have to fight
if Conor beats him, he might stick around to get that rematch because that would kill him. If Conor beat him, oh my god, that would kill him. What all the shit that Conor said about him?
Who? Conor about who?
I said that would kill Khabib if Conor would beat him. All the shit that Conor have said, disrespecting his father and all that.
Oh yeah,
like people say that shit's corny and ever, but trust me, when Khabib looks at him, he's gonna think about that.
That's one of the only ways to get to Khabib. You can't just talk about his fucking hairline or not, his money. That's one of the things he holds near and dear, his fucking dad. So yeah, that's one of the only ways, for sure. And that's, you wonder if that's gonna get under Khabib's skin as far as you think it'll fuck up his game plan, or you think he'll still be able to keep that out, even though it's about his father. You think he's still gonna be cool,
I mean,
calm, cool, collected killer, or you think he's gonna fucking try and stand with Conor for a little bit, try and not finish him, not just stand with him early in the fight. I don't think he'd be stupid enough to do that. But you know how he said in the past he doesn't want to finish him, he wants to punish him, and Conor McGregor saying shit like that, that's gonna make him want to keep him around longer, to beat him up longer. But anytime if you don't finish Conor McGregor when you have the chance, you're playing a dangerous game.
I think Khabib, the only way he gets in on McGregor is if he's willing to eat some punches, because with the distance that McGregor puts on somebody, I don't see him just like running through that, you know. Because we just saw, I was trying to explain to you with the Islam Makhachev, he ran straight towards somebody and he got knocked out pretty easily. So, I mean, he definitely could, you know, Khabib got a chin, so he might be able to eat some and get in.
Stamina MC says, fuck Coco. Pause. Pinhead said, out of curiosity, Vulcan Smith versus Anthony. Ozdemir versus Anthony Smith. Who you guys got? God damn, that's a great fight, man.
That's a good fight.
I'm going to go with Vulcan for that.
I'm going to go with Vulcan.
I was just about to say that, too. It's hard to see Anthony Smith. He's looked good, but now he's fighting the top 5, you know, guys that might be in their prime, the top contenders. I mean, he looked great against Rashad Evans and Shogun, and of course, I don't know what that sound is in the background. It sounds, I got a headphone and it's going crazy, though. Let me see what that is.
I like Dean Smith a lot, because he like fights a lot.
Forwards?
I don't know.
Mike, somebody got a vacuum going in the background?
Yeah, it's going on. Wait, no, it's back.
Yo, is it good now?
Gosh.
It's like lower.
Yeah, it's a little lower. Yeah, it sounds like somebody's vacuuming.
Nah, not here.
But yeah, maybe you can just put it on mute until you talk or something. No, either way. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, Nick Diaz, though, speaking of his return, he's been saying recently, I'll fight, you know, fuck giving Brock Lesnar that fight. Give me the fight. I'll fight DC at any weight. Y'all think about Nick Diaz versus Daniel Cormier at fucking heavyweight. No. But no, really though, Nick Diaz is a guy that could come back and get an immediate title shot just with being a big name. And what's crazy is, even though he hasn't fought in a long time, that Nate Diaz win over McGregor still raised Nick Diaz's stock. There's no way it didn't. You know, just being Nate's brother, people, you still get the fucking rub of beating Conor McGregor. So, shit, that's a fight though. Conor McGregor versus Nick Diaz. I don't know if it would ever happen, but holy shit, that'd be crazy. At welterweight, after the trilogy or something.
I don't see that. I mean, if he beats, if Nate, you know, if they do.
What if McGregor beat Diaz in the third fight, and then so he won the trilogy, but that means there's no more Diaz, there's no more Nate versus Conor. Conor won the 2 out of 1. But it's still controversial. You know, of course, Nate Diaz feel like he already won 2. But what if Conor wins the third fight? Then, motherfucking McGregor versus Nick Diaz at welterweight. Fuck that. Let's go.
I feel like Conor will probably go for the GSP fight.
Well, I mean, but do you think he's going to retire after that? I mean, he could, but I'm just saying that would be a big fight for McGregor after GSP, possibly even. Because his biggest fights possible are, of course, if he wins Nate Diaz and GSP. But if he fights Nate Diaz and beats Nate Diaz, and he could fight GSP first. But that's going to be a tough fight. I honestly would probably pick, well, I don't know. It depends on how he goes against Khabib. But GSP versus McGregor, that'd be another tough fight for Conor. But if he beats Khabib, you almost just have to pick Conor.
You gotta like
you almost just have to pick Conor.
The way you look at Conor.
Exactly. Right now you give the edge to GSP, but if he
might be the favorite in the GSP.
Yeah, that would be fucking crazy. So, but yeah, no. If he does beat Diaz, though, that would just be potential more money fights for McGregor, big ass fights. Because if the Nate Diaz saga is over, it's just time for the Nick Diaz saga, the bigger brother.
I feel like Conor knocks out Nate in the third fight.
And if he does, then you definitely got to get it in with Big Brother. Hell no. If he does, you definitely got to get in with Nick. Mr. Perfect 2005 said Diaz versus Iaquinta. They both will be threatening to pull out. Yo, that would be a dangerous fight to fucking announce. UFC would be crazy if they ever booked Iaquinta versus Diaz. EBS Rock, UFC won't risk it with those two. WebSpeak Vid says level 2 boss. EBS Rock said, you imagine it would be a race to see who's going to walk out of the presser first? Yo, that'd be fucking hilarious. Kid Murphy says, so if and when Khabib loses, Will he stay longer or take his money and retire? If he loses,
I think he will stay longer.
Yeah. If he loses, he could fight. Like, because if he loses and Conor McGregor wins, then McGregor could very well fight GSP. Of course, you know, you look at the winner of, you got Ferguson and Pettis.
Yeah,
you
I
got
could see him finally trying to fight Ferguson for the 6th time.
That's what I was about to say. If he loses, he could fight Ferguson. If McGregor goes on to fight like GSP or fucking Poirier or Diaz or any of these guys. Because right now, even the winner, even if fucking Poirier beats Pettis, he's not guaranteed a title shot. Because you got Ferguson, you got GSP. So, I mean, Ferguson and Khabib is still a big fight, but he probably wouldn't get pay-per-view points for that, even though it's a huge fight, you know. So maybe would he still just be in it to win it? Probably. I think he said. Do you know the exact timeline? What did he say, about 2 more years before he retires or something like that?
Who, Khabib?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2 more years.
Probably only have if he fight, like, let's say Khabib beats Conor, he beats GSP, he retires. There's no way he continues.
If he lost to Conor and then Ferguson.
And then Khabib almost retired when he had the 2-year layoff. He almost retired.
He
told his father that he retired, and then his dad had to talk him out of retirement.
Exist BMX said Tony Ferguson versus Anthony Pettis. Who you guys got?
Got Tony Ferguson.
What about you, Forward? I think I got Ferguson too, honestly.
Can y'all even hear me with my new headphones still?
Yeah, we hear you.
Nah, we hear you good.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I got Tony enough. I think it's a good matchup for Tony to in his comeback fight. So, I got Tony probably by like a 2nd round submission.
But Pettis, like, there's certain things that Tony does, like especially head kicks, like he leans into them too much. That he could catch Tony with a head kick. But I still don't think that's enough to stop Tony.
You can also submit him. Honestly, shit. Ferguson, if the fight goes to 4, Ferguson's got great jiu-jitsu. I mean, he just got fucking Michael Chiesa in a triangle armbar. I mean, you can't count Pettis out on the mat all the way.
Yeah, I wouldn't count him out, but just what I've seen in his recent fights of him, like, almost breaking in his fights, especially against Holloway and against Poirier, like, if you're someone like Tony,
yeah, Ferguson can break you.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to feel like, I'm going to just go full pelt, put all the pressure on him, and then I'll be able to eventually break him. So that's why I see it being a hard fight for Pettis. But it's good to see him back fighting against a top-level guy, because for a while, you almost thought, oh, this guy's finished. He's going to become the next Henan Barrel. So it's good to see him in this kind of spotlight again. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Tony Ferguson likely started off with the ankle pick, man. We got the ankle pick coming. Somebody said Tony Ferguson, the ankle picker, in the chat. We got 21 watching, 18 thumbs up. Whenever you finish biting your bagels, do your boy a favor, hit that thumbs up button. I'm gonna get a night bite in here soon to be reminded, but it is what it is. Ferguson versus Pettis. I think most people are gonna give the edge to Ferguson. But one thing you also keep in mind is, do you think he's gonna look the same after that leg injury? I mean,
he's been looking good in his training. He looked like he's doing dynamic stuff.
He has, and he's fucking his training.
Like,
Tony Ferguson's one of the hardest workers in training.
Yeah, did you hear Chael Sonnen talk about Tony Ferguson's pace and Khabib too?
Yeah, Khabib. He said I heard that recent video on Khabib, but I've heard him talking about Tony Ferguson, and Chael said he won't mention the names, but Tony Ferguson has broke some of the best fighters in the UFC. He said, I can't mention the names, but I'm telling you right now, Tony Ferguson has outworked some of the best. You'd be surprised.
Crazy. He said, like, people would just give up, and then it was the next person, and he just keep making people give up. And then he goes to the heavy bag.
Yeah, man, Tony Ferguson, he's relentless. And that's another thing. I mean, if you've seen Pettis almost break in 1 or 2 fights recently, Tony Ferguson will be the guy to test that. So, Mr. Perfect said, looked good until it gets lit up. That leg won't last, says Mr. Perfect 2005 as far as his leg in training. Yeah, they're probably not throwing as much at it as an opponent might. But, yeah, man, it might not last forever, but maybe it'll be last him a fight or 2. You know what I'm saying? I'd still like to see Tony fight for the title, but like I said, there's no even guarantee that's going to happen anytime soon now. Because even if he wins, you got the winner of Poirier and Diaz. And then, of course, GSP lurking around. So, who knows who's going to get that next lightweight title shot. But either way, UFC 229 is going to be crazy. Okay, let's look at the rest of the UFC 229 card. If they put it together, I'm pretty sure they have Lewis and Volkov. There's a lot of fights where you really kind of, you give the edge to one guy, but anything can happen. But I give the edge to Volkov in that fight, honestly. What about you guys? You guys got Lewis and Volkov?
Oh, I forgot about Volkov.
Volkov, yeah, Volkov's a monster. Maybe a little under the radar, maybe, but he got that 4th round finish.
With Anthony Smith is like he's just a really tough guy. He doesn't really strike you. He's amazing anywhere. He's just tough.
Mr. Perfect said, now that you say that, he has broken a few top guys such as Barboza, but I listened to that show earlier, and he was saying Tony be wearing out fresh bodies in the gym all day. Yeah, man. Joe, that's not even the first time Chael Sonnen has talked about Tony in training. Like, that's nothing new. Tony Ferguson's been wearing motherfuckers out in training. It's crazy. He's a beast. But you just see him training. He does so much different shit, and he's always fucking working, you know what I'm saying, to the very last. Like, well, I don't know what he did most recently. I think it was when he announced his fight, but even in that video, he was going crazy. EBS Rock said, of course, we're going to hear all of that coming from the gym. Yeah, but I think there's some truth to it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Tony Ferguson just trains down there with Chael Sonnen. It's just some shit he's seen in the past. But he also said about Habib. Saying, he said Habib wore out 5 fresh bodies. Some dudes, get wore out after 2 rounds, or he's wearing them out. They're coming in fresh, and they can't go with Habib. He's wearing 5 different dudes out. But yeah, man, of course those are training. That's the training room. But I mean, it's not like we've ever questioned their cardio or anything. Anyways, 7MC said, "Fuck Artem. He brought that on himself. He can't have expected anything else." Oh, whenever
we were having a convo about, because he said Khabib is bigger than trash talk, and I'm like, how, when he smacked Artem in the face with like 7 people? I'm like, I feel like they're just both at fault, but that was just another combo.
Oh, okay, yeah. Khabib, he doesn't do a lot of trash talk, and that's
he does do a lot of trash talk.
You think he does? Like, not a lot of like trash talk. Like, he don't come out
like,
here
like trash talk, but like he'll talk some.
He'll hold his own.
Yeah,
but really, he confronted Artem. He didn't really trash talk back when Artem said what he said in the interview. It's not like Khabib got an interview and like, look at this motherfucker's record. Why is he talking about? He just confronted him really and said some shit to him, but not really like the public trash talk or social media. You don't really do it like that.
He called Tony Ferguson
PFL7 links, man. It's on Facebook. You just go to Facebook and look up PFL7. PFL7 on Facebook. Seismic Chalk said, respect the GOAT stamina. Respect is earned from me. Can't get it any other way. Stamina C not respecting the GOAT. OSP versus Reyes, man. Whoo, that's a fucking fight. Who y'all got in that, man? It's hard for me. I picked OSP in his last fight versus Tyson Pedro, but Dominic Reyes, he looked great in his last fight. I don't know. It's hard for me to pick against OSP because he's proven he's fought some of the best guys. He's well-rounded. He can submit you. He can knock you out. He can out-wrestle you. He's a fucking beast. But he's also been knocked out. He's also been submitted. He's also lost some of his toughest fights. So, tough fight to call. But Dominic Reyes' most recent knockout over Jared Cannonier, that was a crazy knockout. I forget exactly how it happened. Was it a kick?
Yeah.
Was it a kick?
I've definitely seen this guy fight before. I just can't remember his fights that well.
All first-round finishes for submitted Jeremy Kimball, knocked out Joakim Christensen, knocked out Jared Cannonier. But he's only 28. He's definitely a fresh face in the light heavyweight division, much needed. So he could win this fight, man. He's the devastator, and I remember in his last knockout, that he looks like he was devastating. So, I mean, this fight could very well end in a knockout. But OSP, man, hard to pick against OSP. Like I said, he's very well-rounded.
I'll go Reyes.
Fuck it, man. Right now, I'll give the nod to OSP. I mean, Reyes still, he's only had first-round finishes. We don't know where he's all the way at. He can submit you or knock you out. He's dangerous for sure, but, I mean, he's less proven. OSP, it's hard to pick against him. He can knock you out, submit you. He's well-rounded. He's fought some of the best in the light heavyweight division. But he's also a guy that's shown he can get knocked out. I mean, it wasn't his last fight, but he got submitted by Ilir Latif. He put to sleep in that fight. But against
even in
Jimmy Manuwa,
I guess. He kind of got pieced up by him before he even got the submission. So, I mean, he's shown that he's got vulnerabilities on the feet. So, I mean, I personally probably gonna decide just with OSP just because he's got the experience. I mean, let's be real. I mean, he's been fighting the upper echelon of the division for quite a while. So, I mean, he's got 33 fights. So, I'll probably side with him, man. I'll side with him.
He was getting out grappled a little by Corey Anderson. Came back, knocked him out. Performance of the night. So he's always dangerous. His cardio is not in question either. I would give a slight nod to OSP with the experience, but he could very well get knocked out in that fight or submitted. Shit, Dominic Reyes has did both. All first-round finishes so far in the UFC. 6'4" light heavyweight. How tall is OSP? 6'3". Okay, Dominic Reyes, though, he's a big dude, great striker. Artem is the ballast that needs to be thrown overboard. Chilled. No respect for the GOAT. You can't count out OSP, says Exist BMX. Yeah, that's where I'm at as well. Of course, Watterson versus Herrick, fun fight there. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know who I give the edge to. Maybe Michelle. I don't know. Good fight. Felicia's been looking good in her last fights. I think her loss was a split decision. Like a 3-fight win streak before that. Yeah. Or was it 4-fight winning streak? Lost a split decision to Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Michelle Watterson isn't Karolina Kowalkiewicz, so actually Felice, I mean, Michelle Watterson's good, but like I said, she's not Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Felice beat Courtney Casey. That was a split decision.
I think Michelle falls in love with her sidekicks too much and stuff, and then people kind of just outpoint her after that.
Yeah, so, I mean, actually, Felice could very well win that fight, and it's on the main card.
I'll go with Felice that fight.
And there's still more fights to be announced, but you got the Pettis brothers both fighting. And of course, you got motherfucking Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Teco Jose Quinones in the main event. Cannot fucking wait. Pettis versus Drusier Formiga. What do you guys think about Anthony Pettis saying the UFC needs to show a little more respect to the flyweights, put him up on the main card? It was specifically his brother, but to me, it's a flyweight thing. It's not really his brother. You know, he was sticking up for his brother, but the UFC notoriously, they don't put flyweights on the main card unless it's the champion. I mean, they're not the biggest draws, biggest sales. A lot of the times, honestly, this is respect. I'm not even going to lie. This is respect. We've seen like the number fucking 4 versus the number 6 guy as low as the early prelims. So it's actually a little bit of
Benavidez versus
Benavidez versus
Sergio Pettis.
Sergio Pettis,
I don't think
was
it's that bad, honestly.
Yeah.
No, for me, the thing is how I look at it, right? So we saw it with the bantamweight division even years ago when TJ and Dominic Cruz were fighting and what they had their title fight on Foxcast. So they even have it on a pay-per-view, but like obviously slowly after time, once the division kind of built itself and we saw more stars come out of the division, we've seen it now headline pay-per-views like we just saw in August. So I feel like over time, yeah, with Cejudo winning the belt, now we're going to see a bit more in the flyweight division. But I mean, that's for now. You kind of got to know your place and kind of like know your role. So
that's what I was going to ask. Do you think now that Demetrius Johnson's not the champion, now that we got a new champion, a fresh face, we even got, you know, Sergio Pettis looking great, better than ever, new champion, do you think that the flyweights are just not going to sell? And that noise is really loud. Okay, there it goes. It's a little lower now, but I was going to say, do you think that the flyweights are just not ever going to sell, or do you think it had a lot to do with Demetrius Johnson's personality as the champion? Do you think with like Cejudo up there, going up to the different weight class and taking that challenge, and with new faces coming up, do you think the flyweights will ever sell as far as being draws?
I mean, I think it's part of the process. I think eventually they will be able to, but it kind of need they almost need things to align. Obviously, they do need support from the UFC in terms of putting them on the right cards, and maybe even like help from the Ultimate Fighter, as we saw with obviously the TJ versus Cody thing with the whole Team Alpha and what I mean. That was a good storyline, which kind of helped build the division and kind of attract more eyes to it. But you know, we also need to see more contenders come through. Now we saw Figueiredo get a sick knockout last weekend, but you also need more guys like that coming up through the ranks so you can actually look at and say, oh, these guys can be future champions. Because when DJ was running for the champion, we didn't really see many people he thought before we could beat him. I mean, maybe Cejudo, but other than that, we wasn't really looking at Sergio Pettis. We wasn't looking at Benavidez. We wasn't looking at these kind of guys being able to actually dethrone the champion. That's what makes divisions exciting. Someone having contenders who we actually believe can actually dethrone the champion. So it's going to take a bit more time, but I certainly see it can certainly build up more hype, obviously, with there being a new champion now.
It's crazy how long Demetrius, like, we forget how far Demetrius was champion. Like, Anderson Silva was still the champion, GSP, Frankie Edgar, and all those people. That's how far back he was the champion. Jones. That was crazy.
Mr. Perfect 2005 said DJ actually held the division back. He said he thinks they're about to take off. Hey, man, be interesting. Henry Cejudo, a guy, he's down with the entertainment. You know what I'm saying? He's down to sell the fight. He's down to talk trash to sell the fight. Go up, fight TJ. I mean, so it very well could, especially Sergio Pettis. He already lost to Cejudo, but still, he looked good in his win over Joseph Benavidez. So, I mean, there's some fresh faces coming up. We'll see what happens. What if Cejudo fucks around and beats TJ, though? That'd be crazy.
That's crazy.
That'd be crazy. But I think actually TJ is going to be coming down to try and take that belt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But still, if Cejudo even wins at 125, it's going to be like, whoa. Even if it is at 125.
The crazy thing is, if TJ wins, he's probably like the only double champ that actually defends both belts, conceivably.
Who, TJ?
That's true.
Yeah, that'd be able to defend both belts.
Well,
Well,
I would say Amanda Nunes, if she won, she could too. But if she had to defend the inside work, she'd probably lose the rematch if she fucked around and got lucky and won the first fight. But yeah, there really hasn't been a champion that's defended both belts yet. DC said he's going to, but now there's literally like no one for him to fight unless he changes his stance on fighting Gustafsson. Because you got Anderson, who's going to be fighting a top contender, Ilir Latifi, and both of those are guys that could have been fighting DC next. So DC's been saying, yeah, I'm going to defend, but now it's like the UFC's booking all of these guys.
Wait, let me ask you guys a question. So what do you make of this whole DC Gustafsson thing? Because, I mean, if you're looking at it from the Gustafsson point of view, if you're maybe part of his PR team or just even family or close to the guy, like, why is he not speaking out against DC and actually, like, getting his story out there? Because DC's kind of whole point of not fighting him is because of the whole rock holding situation and the fact that he's been kind of inactive over the last year or so, and he's obviously fought a lot more than him, so I feel like he hasn't really deserved the title shot. But I feel like if Gustafsson has got his story out there a bit more and actually played up to the press, to be able to like almost put the pressure on DC and say, you know, yeah, DC, you should be fighting me right now while you're waiting to fight Brock. So
yeah,
I feel like he should be playing more to the media.
The #1 contender for as well, and I don't think anybody would deny that he could have been fighting for the title instead of Ozdemir. DC did a little vote, and he came up short on the vote. But yeah, now it's like, yeah, I don't know why he's not doing that per se. But and honestly, you saw the UFC just booked Anderson versus or Latifi. Us Gustafsson, we know he's not going to fight Latifi. Shoot, we could have saw Gustafsson versus Anderson. I mean, if he's not going to be fighting DC next, I don't know what's Gustafsson gonna do. Continue to sit out. But
I mean, Gus is the only person that DC can fight right now, right?
It is. That's the thing. That's what I was gonna say. The fact that they
I don't
didn't
think DC
put
really
Gustafsson,
wants that fight, to be honest.
He doesn't. He said that they don't do good business, and then to Forward's point, he said specifically, "Oh, since you didn't take that fight short notice with like Anthony Smith, I'm really not gonna fight you. Like you disappointed me." But also, it came out Gus was injured, so it's not like he just was healthy and was like, "Nah, I'm not fighting him. I'm waiting for DC." So yeah, DC though doesn't really want that Gustafsson that rematch.
Yeah,
but he said he's going to defend his belt, and he's the #1 contender. So that's a pretty weird situation.
And it's smart from DC to be honest, alienating him from the fight, because let's be real, it's a tough fight for him to fight that and then go into the Brock fight. And I don't know about everybody else, but I actually had Gus winning the DC fight. Now, I mean, maybe you need to rescore and look back again, but it was really close to that fight. So it's almost like you really want to fight that fight, which is a low-profile fight compared to then going up to face Brock in January. I mean, it's almost kind of smart from DC, almost getting to the point where now people don't even want to see the Gus fight. People can actually accept that he's basically ducking him for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, and really, though, if DC's not going to take the fight, shoot, I don't know. The UFC can't really make him, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think that fight should happen, especially with DC having to wait until January to fight Brock Lesnar potentially. And what the fuck's going on with John Jones, by the way? I mean,
I heard that he could come back November since he never left the USADA testing pool.
John Jones?
If it's a 2-year suspension, yeah.
Okay, so November. Would that be in time for that? Normally Madison Square Garden does happen in November, but is it early November? Let me pull up the UFC schedule. I mean, because, yeah, Madison Square Garden needs an opponent, and that would literally be the perfect place for John Jones' return, being from New York. He's got to headline that thing eventually. And UFC 200 wasn't at Madison Square Garden, but he was supposed to be on that card. But let's see. Upcoming events. Everlove Judge says, but Cody stunned him. John Dodson knocked him out. It was a TKO, though, for Dodson as well. It's not like he just knocked him cold. TJ was up pretty quick after it, but yeah. Mr. Perfect 2005 said, we need an interim light heavyweight belt. And shoot, we got like a low-key a light heavyweight tournament going on. There's another fight book between Ozdemir and Smith. Those guys, winner of those guys could be fighting for the title. And so, so you got those 2 light heavyweight fights booked. Anderson versus Latifi, Smith versus Ozdemir, and you still got Gustafsson sitting around up there. So, low-key, that division's starting to get log-jammed just a little bit. After those fights play out, it's still going to be a toss-up as to who gets the next title fight. But Madison Square Garden is November 3rd, so November is pushing it. It's real close to the timeline if John Jones can come back. So we'll see. But, I mean, he's been training videos. He's in the USADA testing pool. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. Moscow
I just think
coming
the fact
up.
that we haven't had a decision on Jones should get people's hopes up.
Yeah, we got 30 people watching, 23 thumbs up. Do your boy a favor if you haven't yet. If you're enjoying the show, enjoying the panel, hit the thumbs up button. If you're finished biting your bagels. Legendary says, don't think DC will risk the Brock money. And I saw some people say that taking a fight at light heavyweight kind of diminishes the Brock fight. Since you just knocked out the heavyweight champion, going back down to light heavyweight kind of makes you, I don't know. And that was a Chael Sonnen aspect. He was saying, like, it doesn't make you look as big and bad if you I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that or not. I mean, he already
only if he loses. I mean, if he wins again, then that would only add to the fight. Surely,
yeah,
only
if
a
he
little
loses
bit,
for sure. Yeah, if he loses, that would be terrible for the Brock fight. Exist BMX says Dick Tease Jones can't handle it. I want to confirm the fight. I know he's definitely been getting us hyped up low key. There's got us optimistic for the return.
I feel like DC just come clean and be like, yeah, I'm waiting for the Brock fight. So everybody else, shut the fuck up.
Seismic Shock, Walking the Dogs, Listen to Everlugs Drugs. Already read that one. So I mean, after UFC 228, we got Hunt versus Olenek. Who you guys got in that fight? Fucking look at Olenek's record.
I got Olenek about another Ezekiel joke, man. Another Ezekiel joke, man.
Dog, look at his fucking record. 56
Yeah, I know.
and
I was just looking at that. I was like, what the fuck?
Holy crap. Man, does he got the experience? He's got like 44 wins by submission, and 11 of those are Ezekiel chokes. What the hell?
Imagine he gets another one.
Fighting in Moscow. What if he did it? What if he Ezekiel choked Mark Hunt in Moscow?
Has he lost by knockout before?
Let me pull up his record on SureDog. I'm sure he probably fucking has, and maybe TKO at least.
He has damn near 70 fights. Like, yeah, damn.
He's coming off of a fight with Junior Albini, who's like a way worse version of Mark Hunt. In that fight, he even clipped him up a little bit, made him.
Just that dude with the diaper.
Yeah, that's who he Ezekiel choked him. He's got 5 losses by KO TKO. Curtis Blades TKO'd him at UFC 217.
Really? Wow.
Daniel Omlinchik decision. So I mean, yeah, he's only been knocked out once since 2011, TKO by Curtis Blades. But other than that, man, he's got so much fucking experience, though. Mark Hunt, though, I mean, he's 41 years old, of course, with that record. You would imagine he's got some age up there. Mark Hunt, though, I mean, Junior Albini clipped him up a little bit on the feet before he eventually pulled fucking Ezekiel choke. And so, unless he's able to Ezekiel choke Mark Hunt, I think Mark Hunt can actually get the job done here. But it is crazy looking at this guy's record.
Yeah, that's crazy.
She beat Travis Brown, submission, neck crank. Ezekiel choked Victor Pesta. It's like, you know what's coming. Protect your motherfucking neck. It's crazy.
Well, did you guys talk about Volkov versus Derek Lewis already?
A little bit. I'll just briefly touch over. We can go back to it, though. Volkov versus Lewis. Yeah, I'm giving the edge to Volkov. I think Forward said he was as well, but what about you?
Man, I don't know, man.
It's not 229. I mean, Lewis, you can't, you always got to wonder where his back is, for one thing. Yeah. But for two, also, I mean, he can come back. Even if he's down 1 or 2 rounds, he can for sure get the knockout in the 3rd round. So it's not like he's not dangerous all the way throughout the fight. But Volkov
is like more technical, but, it only takes one.
He's coming off that 4th round KO TKO over Fabricio Verdun. That was a fucking very impressive win in the 4th round.
Yeah, I'll edge Volkov. I'll give the edge to Volkov.
Yeah, and Derek Lewis was getting outstruck by Marcin Tibur before getting that 3rd round KO TKO. So I think the only way Derek Lewis wins this fight is a knockout. Decision goes to Volkov, maybe even a fucking submission. Who knows? But I think he has more paths to victory to win this fight. He's even got more experience, low key. It's not like he was fighting cans. He fought for, I believe, Bellator, maybe, and the World Series of Fighting. I know Bellator for sure. But yeah, he's a beast, Volkov, especially with that most recent win over Fabricio Verdun in the 4th round. So it's not, he don't really have those cardio issues that you might have saw from a Derek Lewis. He don't have the back issues. So I mean, I give the edge to Volkov. But a lot of people picked Fabricio, or they picked fucking Francis Ngannou to beat Lewis. Well, that's the fight he's coming off of, so that wasn't the most crazy. It wasn't the most impressive performance there. So
that was one of the most boring fights I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, so Lewis hasn't been looking crazy in his most recent fights. Even the fights he won, some of them were comebacks. So Yeah, that might be how he wins this fight. 3rd round KO, TKO. But other than that, I got the edge going to Volkov. Well, yeah, man. Other than that, is there anything else you guys got, man? I mean, shoot. Is there any news topics? Any that's pretty much the fights. Broke down the main event for at least for Mark Hunt and Alexei. Who you got winning out of that one? Infamous. I know you said you got Ezekiel choke forward, thinking that'd be crazy. And Ezekiel choke over Mark Hunt in Moscow. I know you guys sounded a little sarcastic, but hey, it was a fun answer. Fuck it. Shit, if you don't take it, I'm taking it. Somebody's got to pick Ezekiel by. Somebody's got to pick him by Ezekiel choke. Fucking. He's got 11 of them, 44 submissions. He's good, man. He's got the edge if the fight goes to the floor. Just because it's Mark Hunt, can't count him out.
Yeah, no, you can't count on Mark Hunt. There's been a lot of times where I thought he was going to lose. And then, boom, knockout.
But yeah, man, if you guys ain't got nothing else.
Actually, one more thing. Actually, what do you guys think about Max Holloway, right? Because for the longest time, I thought he was going to be a long-reigning champion at 145, but see this recent trouble, I kind of see Ortega beating him when he fight because
UFC I don't know, I feel like 145
just not. Yeah, I mean it's a long way away. Don't get me wrong. So he has got time to like get properly prepared and obviously make weight and.
But it's a little less time than that actually because he's got to get back in the training camp. So whenever he starts his training camp is when he's really got to be healthy by. Because not knowing what's going on with his health, you can't just be getting into a fucking hard ass training camp. Now he said both. He doesn't think it's weight cutting related or concussion symptoms. Any of that. He's saying no one knows it's not neither of those, and he would know. So with that being said, he's saying it's not the weight, not a fucking concussion. So that's just so weird. I mean, it definitely makes you look at the
honestly,
fight.
I think he's bluffing with that. I think it actually is weight related. Just he doesn't want to say it is weight related because I mean, why would you want to tell the whole world and your opponent that it's weight related? I feel like he kind of just want to play up to the fact that you know what, I can do this, I can mentally do this, so I will do it.
Yeah,
but
he is a big boy.
Even but despite all of that. Because, I mean, Ortega shows he can strike and he can catch you some big punches as he did with Frankie. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough fight, Max.
Actually, tough, man, you got to
Ortega definitely kind of counter punches with his face.
That's actually a good call, man. Before this whole weird ass injury, and we still don't know what's going on, and he's like getting cleared to fight, and it's crazy because like the UFC like supposedly has like. Let's talk about this for a second. The UFC is supposed to have some of the best fucking doctors in the world, but how many times now? For one, this one they haven't got it figured out. But recently in the past, Chris Weidman had like a thumb surgery. It fucked up the first one. He had to re-get another thumb surgery. Paige Van Zandt had like a surgery. It was like, oh, something happened. We had to get a second surgery. What's going on with these best doctors in the world and these fighters having to get second surgeries and not being able to figure out what's going on with Max Holloway and shit? Like, if they can't figure out, who can? Like, that's kind of crazy, though. Yeah. Before that, though,
Max went to a lot of different doctors, though, not just the UFC.
Well, yeah, not just theirs, but I mean, the UFC has some of the best. They've got access to some of the best. So I mean, all of the ones around the world couldn't find out this specific injury. But yeah, no, that was just a funny thought I had though, because you see sometimes fighters having to get these second surgeries. Or even a second. Betch Kohei, I think she's got to get like a second eye surgery. She said something crazy. But no though. Before the whole Max Holloway injury scare, I had Holloway winning this fight I was pretty confident in it. Now I could easily see. Now I'm kind of envisioning Brian Ortega as a featherweight champion. I'm not as confident in the Max Holloway pick, but if he's healthy, man, if he's coming in looking good in training and he's not slurring his words coming into the fight, I might still give the edge to Holloway, but
yeah,
it definitely makes it harder.
I still have to give my boy Holloway the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I got to see how he's looking, though, coming into the fight. I'm going to watch his interviews and see if he's fucking, slurring one side of his face.
He pulled out of 3 consecutive fights. It's like, it's not just...
Exactly. If he wasn't such a, fan favorite, we would all be calling for him to be stripped at this point, or to at least be an
Now, the Khabib fight wasn't really, that was a short notice he offered to step up. And
that was a weird thing because he pulled out of a fight a month ago before that. So I'm like, how the hell?
He had the ankle injury at UFC 222.
He just had that ankle injury a month ago.
And he was just trying. I mean, that was a win-win for him, though. You lose to Khabib, you lose. Either way, you're in the main event of UFC 223. It's a payday for him. Yeah, you're probably on a bum ankle, but you can't count him out. He probably would have lost that fight. But also, as far as him pulling out of 3 fights, he took it on like a week's notice, and he was cutting weight. The commission was like, "Yo," at the end of his weight cut, they stopped him from fighting. It's not like he pulled out specifically, and he took it on a week's notice. So, as far as him pulling out of fights, I really only see UFC 222 What was it, 226 he was supposed to fight at? But yeah,
Wait, so
either
he
way.
pulled out the fight with the ankle injury.
Yeah,
Then
and
it was a Khabib fight, and then it was the Ortega.
yeah, but the Khabib fight he took on short notice, 1 week's notice, and
Oh yeah, but he
also
still
the
pulled
commission
out the
stopped
fight
him.
they took on short notice though.
Yeah,
So that's whatever.
yeah, but his team and manager also came out afterward, and they were like, "Yo, we were still cutting weight. We were in the process of cutting weight." But now think about this: if the commission pulled him out of that fight, and they said it had something to do, they stopped him when they saw him cutting weight. That could have potentially mean that the commission didn't like what they were seeing when he was cutting weight. Now, fast forward to these potential weight cutting related scare, and Max Holloway said it's not weight cut related, but just as a possibility, it could be possible that UFC 223 was weight cut related and UFC 226 was weight cut related. So he really could be having a really hard time making this weight cut now. And he's talked about going up in the past, so we'll see if he makes the weight. But yeah, he could have a hard time cutting weight, man. It could really be affecting him.
Well, the thing is, when you're cutting weight, obviously you're going to be dehydrated.
Yeah.
You're cutting water out your body, like 20 pounds of it.
Yeah, a lot of guys.
So that just might just be ignorance on the commission's part.
But I mean, and then you think about the symptoms at UFC 223, whether those were weight cutting.
That was weird.
Now, he said that he doesn't believe it was weight cut related, but if it was, then that could also give credence to the pullout from UFC 223 when they didn't like what they saw when he was cutting weight, because they saw fighters cut weight. It's not like they just saw a fighter dehydrated for the first time ever.
Well, they stopped Yoel Romero too from cutting weight.
Yeah, when he was like 2 pounds over. Yeah, so I mean, they've seen fighters cut weight healthily, and they've seen probably fighters who look like they're doing bad in their weight cut. And so for them to pull him out, they must have saw something they didn't agree with necessarily, for him to be cutting that much weight on short notice for whatever reason, because they're taking a champion out of a main event. I don't think they would do that just to fucking, that's a pretty big call. So they must have saw something that they didn't agree with. But his team said they were still down to cut the weight. And it was a big weight cut on short notice. So could have been a bad weight cut there. And who knows, maybe that quick weight cut may have, I don't know. It was a far time off of UFC 226, but I don't know. We've just seen multiple signs now from multiple different issues where it could be weight cut related, but of course they're saying it's not. So either way, though, it gives Brian Ortega more of a chance.
Diet.
Seismic Shock saying
Max diet because he eats a lot of shit.
Or the cupcakes and whatnot. Yeah, man. He needs to
the acai. So. He was loving that acai. I know that. He was talking about that after he went over to Brazil. Ever Loves Drugs said, honestly, seeing Khabib slow down, I can see Max turning up the pressure on Khabib in the late rounds and drown him. Talking about a potential Max versus Khabib fight. Shoot, we might be seeing that sooner rather than later. Maybe he gets one more defense in, possibly, and moves up. Or who knows, maybe he loses the title and moves up. But I don't know Max Holloway's future at 145. I do want to see him fight Frankie Edgar, of course, though. Of course, that history there with BJ Penn, him trying to get one back for Hawaii, but maybe he's not going to be able to.
Max could just, like, take one fight and not cut weight in. Like, maybe throw him in there with Ross Pearson or something.
Yeah. That's what somebody was saying kind of about if Darren Till wins, do you think he'll, like, call out fucking Costa? Like, he'd be the champion, but, hey, it'd be a fight he didn't have to cut weight. I mean, it'd be like Max Holloway if he won and fought fucking Ross Pearson, you could say why.
Oh, I don't know, to give Max a cherry. That's what I was thinking.
I'm saying you can do that for Darren Till. If he goes up to middleweight, if he wins one fight, let him fight one. That is natural weight. Middleweight, probably. He'd probably still cut weight to middleweight, but either way. Derek B said, I don't buy it when Max was saying, oh, we don't really know what happened. I think he and his team know damn well what happened, just doesn't want to release it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, because it is kind of crazy to have some of the best doctors and shit like that. But this is the thing. If they do know what happened and he's still coming back to fight, that would mean maybe it's not as serious. Because let's say they do know what happened. You had a fucking weight cut scare. Again, like let's say you had a weight cut scare and they know it and they don't want to release it. Well, now he's about to come back out and cut the weight. So he's not too scared from that weight cut. He feels like he can still do it. That could be the case. Because honestly, that sounded crazy to me too. Like, what? No one could figure anything out? This motherfucker's face was slurred. Like, you're doing all these scans, best doctors, I would imagine. And the UFC said that. And he thanked the UFC for it. You could imagine the UFC wants to use the best doctors, their best resources to find out what the fuck's going on with their young featherweight champion. So someone had to not be able to figure anything out. It's like, whoa. I don't know about that. Max ain't self-snitching, said Stamina MC. Oh, yeah, he don't want to let him know. Hey, yo, man,
I just want to see how Max looks in this fight. He looks like a completely different person in this next fight.
I think we'll tell a lot in the damn interviews leading up to the fight. Shit, see if he's looking normal. And the training leading up to the fight. But, yeah, the fight is going to tell a lot as well. So, Max Holloway versus Ortega. Max Holloway says he learned of his UFC 231 fight on the internet. And he said, the good thing is all the concussion experts and stuff, they said I'm clear for free and all of that. We saw some doctors about my health with my potassium levels and stuff was great. So he can cut out whatever weight cut thing people were saying. So he's saying the good thing is the concussion experts and stuff say he's cleared, free from all of that. And he's still saying it's not the weight cut thing. He said the great thing is we really don't have an answer, but at the end of the day, they're clearing us to fight. The big thing is that everybody was worried about. It's not that. So I'm excited. It's time to get back to work where I belong in the octagon, and I can't wait to get back to what I love. As far as the UFC 231 fight, he says we'll see what happens. As everybody saw, I found out the same way that everybody found out. Some fight in Toronto, I found out from the internet. Some media guy texted me, hey, congrats on the fight, champ. When do you want to talk about it? Let me know. And I was like, what fight? I didn't text him back. I went on the internet and saw the news going crazy. So Brian Ortega, he recently said something about it, though. He said he got the contract. And, of course, Max Holloway's not going to turn it down if he's cleared to fight. He said, I guess the UFC is doing the right thing. They know they don't need to tell me about any fight. Just send me over the contract and your boy's ready. yeah, that's Max Holloway. The fucking, don't matter who it is, Frankie, whoever, whenever, short notice, fuck it, Khabib, what weight, let's get it. Well, yeah, still, that health scare. You gotta wonder how that's gonna play into this fight. He's cleared to fight, though, so. I didn't see the footage of Max for a while after he pulled out. It was scary to see how lethargic he was and gaunt looking. Yeah, those interviews definitely, that was interesting. So on top of that, not find out what's going on. We'll see if it plays into his performance. But I'll say this, before that, I was a lot more confident in my Max Holloway pick. Brian Ortega submits guys, knocks guys out, maybe healthier, fucking dangerous, but we'll see what happens. Max Holloway definitely one of the best strikers, and he'll definitely still have the striking advantage unless he comes in here like a fucking zombie or something. Conor will smash Khabib, says Ivan Hernandez. I don't see that happening as far as smash. If he beats him, he might knock him out. I don't see him beating him in a decision. I don't see him smashing him, like taking him down like Khabib wants to smash him. He might smash
Conor
him.
taking Khabib down and smashing him.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Conor McGregor winning by TKO, full mount, ground and pound on Khabib.
Well, he might ground and pound him after he's like really
after
rocked.
he drops him. It wouldn't be crazy if he took the full mount and finished it from there, though. Like just raining it down. That'd be kind of crazy to see. Either way, though. Yeah, man. So there's the thoughts on Holloway and Ortega. If you guys got anything else to talk about? I mean, it might be the end of the show. We've been on for about 2 hours. I mean, I could stay on. I don't got much to do, but not much else to speak about unless there's something else you guys wanted to discuss. We talked about the upcoming fights, 228, Gorilla Smash 2018, Booger Bash 2018. Whoever that. But yeah, so man, I think we're gonna. With that being said, I think we're gonna close out the show. I ain't got no closing music like the coach, unfortunately. But I hope you guys enjoyed the live panel with Forward and Infamous. Thank you guys for joining the panel and everybody else for coming through. I enjoyed it. PFL Live is still on if you want to watch that. Facebook, I'll probably still watch those fights, but it's lagging for me right now, and I can't play the sound, so not really big on the reaction. But with that being said, also guys, the return of Nick Diaz, we broke that during this show. Thanks to Forward. Wasn't that you that brought up the tweet or Infamous? Yeah, Forward. Yeah, so Nick Diaz cleared in the crazy bitch stalker case. Now I think it's safe to say she was crazy. The courts found it that way. Not safe to say she's crazy, but safe to say Nick Diaz was that incident was resolved. That whole domestic battery incident he was in. So, and he's ready to return at any weight: heavyweight, Cormier; light heavyweight, Cormier; middleweight, Silva. Who knows? Fucking, he might come back at welterweight, Woodley. Ooh. Maybe that's a fight for
funny
Woodley.
How he wanted to fight
Daniel
Cormier.
Yeah, hey, at any weight. He said instead of Dick Chest Brock Lesnar, I'll fight that motherfucker at heavyweight. All right. So yeah, man, guys, thanks for coming on the panel.
Right.
We'll be
Closing
back.
thoughts. Hold
Closing thoughts. Yeah, let's do closing thoughts. And also, if you haven't yet, hit the thumbs up. If you're watching on the replay, do your boy a favor, hit the thumbs up. Closing thoughts. We'll start with Infamous. He's got something to say.
Let's just hope Khabib doesn't pull out this fight, because we all know he's a little bitch when it comes to that. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
That would be crazy. But yeah, let's not jinx it. Forward, what you got to say?
Yeah, closing thoughts. Till's gonna win by second round KO. That's what I gotta say.
All right, my closing thoughts are, man, put some motherfucking respect on Tyron Woodley's name. He might not be the most exciting fighter, but he's got a hell of a resume, and he's one of the greatest of all times. I do think his time's coming soon, but I don't know if it'll be at UFC 228.
Yeah, it's coming real soon.
It's going to be a great fucking night of fights. It could happen, so make sure you're tuning in for that. I know a lot of people, if that does happen, are going to be excited. Holy shit, UFC 228 coming up this week. We'll be back, of course, tomorrow, every day. And also, to get out of here, I'm going to close it. You guys can exit whenever you want. But speaking of UFC 228 and Tony Ferguson, I don't know why, and I'm going to play Tony Ferguson versus Pettis and Khabib to get out of here, because I want you guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to UFC Yankovic, our second channel. I'm trying to get it to 1,000 subs. After that, I don't care where it gets, but with YouTube, there are changes lately. They demonetize all channels. They used to be, but you have to hit 1,000 subs now. So we're trying to hit that threshold, and that's also where we're going to post all of our parody songs, and that's how we're going to close the show. So thank you guys for joining the panel. Thank you guys for joining the live chat, the group chat. We're out of here. UFC 229's coming. Pettis versus Ferguson. Let's fucking go. And shout out to Stockton Slaps on the remaster. We out.
Peace.
Nice. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Yeah, they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me. It's Tony time, bitch. I don't care who's fucking with me. Staying away from tiramisu's a struggle for Khabib. You don't wanna fight, you wanna cuddle with me. My elbows are knives and I'ma cut you with these. I don't really give a fuck who's with me. If this fat fuck will make weights a big mystery. If you were smart, then you would probably pick me to submit Khabib at UFC 223. To submit Pettis at UFC 229. Tony time. Tony time. I knock out, sometimes I choke. I might be the lightweight GOAT. If my leg didn't get broke, would've probably beat Khabib. Then moved up and fought Woodley. Either wait for GSP. You don't wanna mess with me. Tony time. Tony time.